Running a little bit behind this morning, so y'all get to come with me to freshen up my coffee. Cheers. Mm. You like my mug? Go ahead and take my earphones out as well. No point in having them. The music is gone. But using the phone works so much better than the computer. So that's what we're gonna do. Beep. I would ask how everyone is today, but there's no one here yet. Oh, I don't know. Last week we had a real lively thing going, so hopefully some people will come back after that. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Empty it ready. Ah, where's the other one? According to this clock, I was on time. It says it's 10:59. So. Creamer. Coffee. Backwards. Doggies wanting to get in, and they're not coming in right now. That's not happening. And the cat thinks she did not get fed this morning, even though she did. And mayhaps we'll go sit outside. That sounds nice. Mayhaps we will. Which also gives us extra flexibility because I don't have to be worried about sticking close to the router. So. Alright. Where's my jacket? Did I leave it in the bathroom? I did. No one's here yet. There we go. Oh, hello. Someone is here. How are you? Who is here? What's up? It's cold here this Saturday. Is it cold wherever you are? Can you hear me? I hope so. We're gonna go sit outside. It's sunny, but it's chilly. Creepy perfect timing. What was that? Just came online and saw you were live. Hi, Les. How long time no see? How you been? Sometimes things work out that way. More often lately. At least for me. Snagging my stuff. We're gonna go sit outside. Enjoy the sunshine for a little while till I get cold. Good. Saw JKJ the other day. Really? That's awesome. Where was that at? She's been all over. And I cannot keep up with that. Sounds fine. Good. We're going to go outside and see if that maintains. Because last week the transition between the two is not good. But if it dies, I'll just start a new one. Just meet me at the new one. She came to South Australia. Yeah, I saw that she was at some sort of thing in Australia. That's cool. I love that she has the money, the funding, the organization, everything, the support to go and do all of that. Truly, truly, that is so fucking cool. What's the matter? I scared you. It's about time. You can probably check that tablet. It's been a little bit. Yeah. So we can see if it's got a charge. The password's just his birthday. And he knows it anyway, so. 5-year-old's more tech savvy than I was at 20. It's good. It's good stuff. Do I have all of my stuff? Ish. Yeah, good enough, I guess. You missed a hot conversation last week. Can you still hear me? I hope you can still hear me. You missed a hot conversation last week. And then a couple weeks before that, like, let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly what we were talking about last week. Oh, look at my strawberries. They're doing so well. Look at that. Look at that. They're going gangbusters. Oh, my goodness. 7-year-old I know owns more tech than me. Yeah, I can still hear. Good. I gotta get the rest of the stupid ground cabbage out of here. I hate it so much. But I got most of it before everything started growing, so pretty happy with that. Strawberries! I'm gonna have strawberries, and that's an apple tree. Got a few off it last year. This is its 3rd year, I think. Hoping to get more than 2 or 3. Yeah. A lot of strawberries. Yeah. Well, it actually, it started up on the wall, believe it or not. It started up on, you can't really see it because it's behind the umbrella, but there is a little wall here. There's a bunch of shit leaned up on it right now because of wind. But yeah, there's a little wall there, and it actually started up on top of the wall and spread down into, this was like a tomato patch that I had there. And the strawberries decided that it was theirs over the winter a couple of years ago. And they just kind of came up, they just took it over. And I'm like, you know what, that's fine. We got some big garden beds in the backyard. They are. Which, you know what, I'm fine with, because they're fighting against this stupid ground cabbage, which I hate, and does not give me strawberries. They can have the whole side yard as far as I'm concerned. Right, not in the bad way, obviously. No. But so, yeah, they've crept from the wall here under the umbrella all the way across the one bed to the second one here, which is fine. Which is fine with me. My son picked out the little patriotic bird, by the way. He was 3. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to take care of my skin and stuff, you know. I'm gonna be 40 in October. So, oh my goodness, look at this hound dog we got. Can you see him? Buddy! There he goes. Look at that. It's a purebred something coon hound that was found wandering. So, anyways, yeah, we got these big beds for the backyard that we're gonna put dirt in this year finally and plant stuff. So, not worried about the vegetable patch so much. Ooh. It's been windy and rainy and not summer here. I bet that was nice for Kelly. They got a little shade, a little bit of a wet cushion, I bet. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe the sun has, no, it's wet. Setting up a new patch in a few months. Ooh, what you planting? Just swap this out for the other cushion just like it. Every winter, so not the best time for planting, basically just getting it all set up. Duh. I'm sorry. Put in whatever is cheap. You know, I think in the long run, during winter, yeah. Well, there are some things you can grow during winter, depending on how cold it gets there. South Australia, so you're probably fairly warm most of the year anyway, right? No, wait. That's backwards again. I'm sorry. South Australia is probably cooler. So, maybe you have some cold winters there, maybe. I don't know. Is it dry, though? Or do you get a lot of snow? I know Australia is pretty dry, right? Golly. That wind really tried to take some of my stuff away. Oh, look at my big old rose bush here in completely the wrong spot. It's the best. What's the best? Missed something. Mediterranean climate. Nice. Dry but still. That's we're mountain climate, so. Whoops. That isn't what I meant to hit at all. Mountain climate, so quite a bit of rain. But things grow like gangbusters, man, whether you want them to or not. There we go. My little windbreak is trying to fly away on me. We can't have that. There. There, everything's that's much straighter now. Okay. He ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. I have no idea if he's caught any rabbits. Theoretically, he wandered off on a hunt or something. I don't know. And like, just because it's a coon hound does not mean they were hunting raccoons, I guess. I don't know. I do not know from freaking hunting dogs. Yeah, no. He's sweet, though. He's sweet, though. People walk in the rain here, not when it's bad rain, but yeah, because we love it so much. Do you... Woo! Hello, there they are. Do people do that over where you are? Oh, people here don't walk anywhere. Because everything is so spaced out that you cannot do that. The nearest grocery store is, a couple of miles from here, so you have to drive everywhere. And there aren't sidewalks a lot of places, country, narrow winding country roads that people will go 50 miles an hour down. However many kilometers that is. A lot, 75, something like that. Walking for the fun of it, I do. There are some fitness people around here. Yeah, some people who, enjoy getting out and moving around. I'm one of them. I don't know that there's really a very big culture of that here, and I say that as somebody who used to live in a much more culturally liberal, progressive area where, like, biking is trendy, and I hear they have rental bikes up there now. I've been gone for almost 8 years, though, so I wouldn't know about that. But I believe it, because it fits right with the sort of place that it is. And yeah, up there, people will walk for fun and fitness, and every once in a while I'll see somebody around here doing it. There's some really nice parks around here, it being right next to the freaking Smoky Mountains and all. Man, and when they call them Smoky Mountains, they're not kidding. That fog is no joke. Can you see my garbage pile behind me? That's great. Why do I always do that? I always put the trash in like the one spot that's going to be right behind me. Because I don't want to see it. But then you do. And I apologize for that. But so, yeah, Australia is interesting to me because I have no idea about the weather down there. Mediterranean, huh? Nice. So, does that mean you could grow, like, olives? I thought it was a compost until you said something. No. Thank you. But the compost is in the backyard. So yeah, the last couple weeks, we've had some very interesting conversations. Ooh, that's why I meant to bring the bag with me, because it has the notebook in it where I wrote the stuff down last week. And if this week goes anything like last week, I'm going to have more stuff to write down. William Ross Judgment Training, but it's a big place. There are many. No, yeah, I know it's a big place. I know. But it's generally more dry than North America. In that, the eastern part, anyway. Not the desert. Whatever the spelling or noun may be. What? Regions? Yeah. No, yeah. Climate regions? Yeah. The United States has several as well. I'm familiar with that concept. But overall, I think y'all have more desert than we do. Is really all I'm saying. Mainly because Appalachia is this giant forest that eats people. I don't think y'all have one of those, do you? If you do, I would be fascinated to hear about it, because I've not. And spotted on any map either. Which, if you look at a map of the United States with, the trees on it, you can see that there are 2 have desert, Mediterranean, tropical, and at least 4 others. Oh. Interesting. How large are they, though, region-wise? Yes. Yes, the Appalachian Trail goes all the way down the East Coast, and it's deep forest. And there's the national parks and whatever come all the way past where we are, west of us, to the Smoky Mountains, which is also a national park and eats people. Like, people disappear. That's what I mean by that. Sometimes they find them, sometimes they don't. Massive, deep wilderness type places that I was pretty sure Europe doesn't have shit like that anymore. Oh, okay, so yes, we do have that. Ooh, where? What's it called? Mainly tourists. Well, yeah. The locals are not gonna, it's always tourists. Or, like I say, at least one of them is specifically a national park. Did I forget my coffee? I forgot my coffee. That's sad. Someone else is here. Hello. Someone else has arrived. We were just talking about giant deep woods that eat people. Because it's Saturday morning, damn it. And I forgot my coffee in the house, so I have to go hunting for it. The Simpson Desert. Well, that'll be an easy name for me to remember. I love it. A people-eating desert. A desert, huh? See, that's fun, because, you'd think there'd be fewer places to get lost in a desert. At least I would. I'm not familiar with the desert, so, I don't know. For all I know, there's crevasses between every boulder, or behind every boulder. I don't know. But you kind of think of it being mostly featureless. Hello. With some rock outcroppings, maybe. As opposed to the deep woods where there's shit to get lost behind and under and in all over the place. Where did I leave that? I walked right past it, of course. You can let them in if you want, but only if you want. They're having a good time out there barking and stuff. They're scratching the door because I came in. Here's the kitty cat. We're just meeting all the wildlife today. Hi, puppy. The mom-mobile that I don't even drive. I don't like minivans because the one that I had 10 years ago tried to kill me twice. There's a fun story. first time was a leaky brake line. So the brakes went soft on me going down this big hill. Because like basically the entire near east side of Cleveland is on a giant hill. And the second time was much more interesting. I was going down the freeway and the accelerator pedal was being stubborn. It didn't want to go down. So I, being the 25-year-old idiot that I was, stomped on it. And then it did not come back up. So I found myself literally standing on the brake with my ass up out of the chair and everything. Cross it unprepared. Yeah, well, there's getting caught by nature, and then there's just dis-a-fucking-peering, which is kind of weird. Anyways, long story short, I had to get off the freeway. Thank goodness there was nobody at the bottom of that exit ramp, and turn the damn thing off. And walk the rest of the way to my mother's. And it was a frayed accelerator cable that had become stuck in this metal plate that it moves through. And that minivan tried to kill me twice. So when my husband brought home this new one, I was like, oh, good, a van. You know I don't like those. And we're back with coffee. Cheers. Is coffee popular in Australia, or are y'all more of a tea drinking people? Because here in the South, they have this stuff called sweet tea, which is not recognizable in any way, shape, or form as tea, other than that it's brown. It's cold and packed with ice and sweet. To my people love coffee, it's just not my thing. Fair enough. More for us. You a tea drinker? Or not a caffeine person or a soda person? Yeah. Around here you have to ask for unsweet tea. If you ask them for iced tea, you're gonna get sweet tea. Which is very sweet. When they say sweet tea, boy, oh boy, they mean it. Tea and soft drink, soda. Right on, right on. We all have our beverages of choice. Gotta love it. A couple of people just showed up. Good morning. How's everybody today? We're just kind of hanging out at the moment. We're talking about beverages. Well, and now they're gone again. Whatever. I kind of hate that thing. I'm hoping some people we know will, stop by. We'll listen to the dog baying at the sun. Oh, I should grab my bag too. Duh. Girl, I just gotta say, I am also writing this book, right? You might have heard me mention it once or twice. And, like, I'm just absolutely up to my eyeballs in part 3. To the point where it's trying to keep me up at night. It's not succeeding, because I need my fucking sleep. But, like, man, this shit is kind of rough. Gotten some really good feedback on it, though. Some choice comments from people. So, yeah. Hopeful about getting a pretty hopeful vibe from the feedback that I've gotten so far. And by the way, the twist at the end of the first part is that there's witches. I'm just going to put that out there because apparently people weren't aware of that. And it's kind of a twist at the end of the first book, but, like, not really. I mean, it is, but it's the kind of thing where if it achieves any level of success whatsoever, people are going to know going in that there are going to be witches, eventually. I feel like that's, the kind of twist I'm not going to be able to keep from people. That's literally going to be the first thing that anyone says to anyone about it, probably. So, yeah. And it also seems to help drive interest. It's pretty straightforward historical fiction until about 2/3 of the way through. And then there's witches. Yeah. Magic witches or wise women witches or both? both. I'm not sure what's the distinction there. I mean, it's Victorian England, so make of that what you will. The beginning of the modern era. Good question. Right? See, I had not considered that at all. They're sort of, they're both. They're both. Like, not sure either. Yeah. They're both, you know. And it's the kind of thing where your power grows with practice, so with age. You know, so the older ones are more influential than the younger ones and more able to command various forces than the younger ones. You know, kind of like in real life. I don't know about you, but I'm really, really, really sick of all this. Like, man, I'm gonna be 40, like I said. And it's been a while since I was interested in like a coming of age story about some prodigal son off on a journey to discover himself. I don't give a fuck anymore. I've seen that story 1,000 fucking times, and anyone who resembles me is always left out of it. Real magic or magic? Can you clarify that, please? Because I'm going to go with option 1, but I'm going to ask for some clarification first, I think, you know. It's a good question. And while you're formulating that, I'm going to go and grab my bag from inside. All of my happy notes in it. All of my sad notes, too. Going in the house to get my bag. Singing to myself so I don't forget what I am doing. Going in the house to get the bag. My little carpet bag. Can you see it? No. Look at it outside. Baby doll, you don't have to sit around in your coat. Unless you really want to. He was going to go to the store with Dad and then decided he didn't want to. He wanted to stay with me, and then I had to get on here, and he and I are going to do stuff together later. I got plans. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, real plus up there. There. My nice little carpet bag. With the flap. Okay. Boy, it's bigger than it looks. Holds a lot of stuff. Okay. This is the one I had my notes in from last week. So gosh, she must be 12 hours off from us there. God, yeah, so like real world versus Alohomora, unless you can unlock doors that they stick without actually touching the lock. Because please let me know. I'm not familiar with Alohomora. Is that an Aboriginal thing? Why does it keep fading? It's annoying. Of course, let's take... Please teach me how. I would love to be able to unlock doors without touching them. That would be really cool. Harry Potter spell to unlock doors. Oh! Well, I just exposed my level of familiarity with Harry Potter, didn't I? Oh well. I don't need any more explanation than that. So that's good. No. Not like it's real in that it is paranormal, It's not supernatural in that it is manipulations of natural forces. Does that make sense? You know, it's like a one might be born with certain sensitivities, and they need to be identified and honed through years and years of practice. That kind of thing. It's not the sort of thing. Okay, cool. It's not the sort of thing where one just wakes up one day as the chosen one and can learn some stuff from a book and all of a sudden command the forces of nature. It's difficult to communicate, right? But so that's one of the ways that I do that is I make a distinction between paranormal and supernatural, like outside the natural world, above nature. Like, I don't know that there's any such thing. Really? But paranormal, as in inexplicable to the modern paradigm, you know, yeah, definitely. So that's what that is. And it's, but like I say, it's not like Harry Potter, where you can just sit down and study a couple of books and all of a sudden be able to wield all this power at like 12. No. Yeah. At 12, a lot of your sensitivities probably haven't even developed fully yet, and you might not be able to identify them yet. So it's the kind of thing you get initiated into at the beginning of adulthood. Yeah. Also, like, who would give children power like that? As a parent, that seems very, very unrealistic to me. That any person with any level of wisdom whatsoever would give a child power like that. It's like how UFO isn't a stupid thing. UFOs are real. What people mean are otherworldly objects. Right. It's not an unidentified flying object. You think you know what it is. You think it's a spaceship. Precisely. Words. As a writer, they are both my best friend and my worst enemy. We're frenemies, me and words. Love-hate relationship. For sure. I wonder if I could stand that box up, actually, and maybe use it as something to put the phone on so I can have my hands back. He is a fierce hunter. Just ask him. Oh my goodness. Words are friends and enemies. Yes, that's right. Oh man. Ah, the cat has arrived. Perhaps that's what he is barking at. That's not going to work. Are we all right now? Oh my gosh. That might do. Can you still hear me? It's not blocking the mic, is it? Here's hoping. Can't see any of my lovely greenery anymore. Good. So where were we? Oh yeah. Magic versus magic. Paranormal versus supernatural. Yeah, I'm not sure there's any such thing as supernatural, like outside the natural world. Paranormal to me is, you know, outside a scientific explanation, I guess. Basically. It definitely qualifies as that. It's not supernatural in that it is, you know, manipulating natural forces. Like I say, sensitivities that one might be born with that you can identify and hone through years and years of practice. Which is not terrifically thrilling as a concept, I suppose. For anyone who's hoping for, you know, fast power, quick power. Oh, but that's just like how women are, isn't it? That's women for you. Always making everything difficult. Oh. Actually, that's a point. Is that, it drives men crazy. Whenever they try to do this, they always want to, like, they're not good at letting things just flow through them, right? So they always want to control it in a way that it's not meant to be controlled, and understand it and codify it in a way that's not meant to be. People want a magic wand. They don't want to spend 40 years learning how to heal a wound, I guess. Right, well, I mean, also that's what nurses do. But, you know, back in the days before modern medicine. Also, yeah, they don't want to spend 40 years learning anything, do they? Even things that really need that kind of dedication and time put into them. And, you know, things just seem to be tilting more and more that way all the time. Cat's being troublesome. But yeah, no, in the story that I am writing, you have to actually put in time and consistent dedication to attune yourself to whatever it is you're sensitive to. And yeah, men are not capable of really doing it. They want to control it and understand it in ways that are not really possible. And so they just kind of drive themselves mad. One can think of some examples. It wouldn't take 40 years for the next generation. It's just that men keep ruining it. Gosh. Spoilers. That's right, they do. A certain select group of them, actually. You know, they all benefit from shit, right? But most of them not as much as the select few who actually have any fucking clue what is going on. I'm going to point that out. And this is not anti-male. You know, I think I consider a lot of men to be non-combatants, quite frankly, who just have no fucking idea what's going on, and if you tried to explain it to them, would not understand, because say men in the way you say duck fly south for the winter. I like that. I like that. I like that. Well, and I want to make clear that I am not attempting to send any anti-male message, okay? Actually, I was laughing yesterday because there are two main male characters in the third book. The protagonist's brother and significant other, for lack of a better term. And, like, the second one drives the entire plot of the third book. Like, the entire plot. Like, I did not realize this. And I was putting it into this sort of 3-act structure that I've been using all this time. I used it for both of the other two. I was pleasantly surprised at how well it fit in to this structure. That's gonna make it a lot easier to finish. But yeah, I realized that like all the plot points that like he moves every single plot point. Did you plan that, or did it just happen? No, it just happened. If I'd have planned it, I would have realized it. I wouldn't have realized it only now. Literally like halfway through putting it into this grid, right? I would not have only just now noticed that. Whatever, he's an important character. You know, I guess that's all I'm saying, is that there are one or two key male characters who are, you know, goodies. Like, actually. Well, I guess the brother is more neutral, but, you know, he's a brother. Sometimes he's a dick, but mostly not. He's a brother, you know. His wife is a troublemaker, but coming right up on most of the trouble that she's about to make. Because up until now, relations between the two couples have been fairly nice. And that's just not going to be true much longer, so. Well, I mean, she loses her little girl, and I think she blows a fuse. Which, understandable. And that's the thing, is that most of the characters, I try to at least give them subtext of some kind of sympathetic motivation. So you're not just sitting there going, well, that bitch, why'd she do that? You know what I mean? That's not fun for anyone. And it's not immersive either. And, I am, the subtext and the themes are stuff I'm actually trying to get through to people, so I want it to be immersive. I want it to be engaging. I want it to be the kind of thing that follows you around after you're done reading it, Just sort of mulling over in the back of your mind sort of thing. And I think the ending is going to throw people for a loop. I did not even ponder just exactly what kind of an ending I'm writing, but I think it's going to throw people for a loop. In Australia, we have this thing called the Sophie Prize, and it's about a story written by a woman. It doesn't involve a woman getting raped or murdered. Most of my stories fail. But they have a point. Yeah. There's none of that in my book. I'm not going to say no one gets murdered. But the protagonist doesn't. Or raped. So that's good. Yeah, hadn't, because then the prize has a point. Oh, yeah. They shouldn't need to award that prize, I think is probably their point. Stories like that should be very easy to find. And they're not so much, are they? And a lot of the ones that just don't have a whole lot of female characters, do they? And I'm randomly reminded yesterday on the way back from a field trip, we were listening to the Muppets singing songs, in the car. They're all dudes, aren't they? Except for Miss Piggy, who is a walking stereotype if I ever saw one. And kind of a hateful one at that. It's media that I have enjoyed as a child that you want to share with your own kids, and you look at it and you're like, again, subtext. There are other female Muppets in the main cast? Like who? And I'm not talking Sesame Street. You're not gonna like it? Oh, God. You don't mean Henrietta, do you? Henrietta doesn't talk. Henrietta is a chicken. Which Miss Piggy's a pig. Kermit's a frog. Why doesn't Henrietta talk? That's what we were gonna do. Rad Fem analysis of media. I could do that for a week straight, probably without breaking a sweat. So I can't believe I forgot about that again. It must be a good idea because it keeps slipping my mind. Okay, so one of the members of the rock band, oh God, yeah, Janice is her name. And so, oh my God, you too. Oh, this will be a fun conversation then. So, well, we can do kids movies, we can do rock and roll, we can do grown adult movies, but like, duh. A lot of those are gimmies. I don't know, I like the music angle. Anyway, just because I have gobs and piles and piles of knowledge about that stuff. Anyway, but like, yeah, Janice. Actually, if you've ever seen the original Muppet movie from like 1979, we can do all movies. Well, yeah, all movies. Right now, this is a children's movie, a specific children's movie from 1979. The original Muppet movie. It has the song Rainbow Connection in it, you may have heard. That's a classic. It's a fun movie. It has cameos from all kinds of people. It has all kinds of meta commentary on media and Hollywood stuff. It is fun for children and adults alike. It's a good film. And, you know, they took the Muppets out into the countryside and shit. You know, it's impressive from a technical perspective as well. And, Dr. Teeth and the whatever. Rainbow Connection is a great song. Yeah, I've used it as a lullaby for years. And, you know, that's kind of how I got them turned on to this in the first place. So the Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. That's the name of the band. It's Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Because the 70s. Right, no, the practical effects in the movie are quite impressive. Because they're all fucking puppets. And they drive a car. For a long time. They like Kermit drives a car. Kermit rides a bicycle. There's a full body shot of Kermit riding a bicycle. How the fuck did they do that? I don't know. But they did. And it's pretty impressive. And it's just thrown in there, you know. You don't think about it if you're not thinking about it. You're like, oh yeah, okay, the character's riding a bicycle. And then you're like, wait, that's a fucking puppet. So, you know, the technical filmmaking just fantastic. But yeah, there's still a group of dudes from the 70s, you know, and they're writing these characters. And so Janice in the song that the rock band gets to sing, Dr. Teeth takes the verse. How many wires, poles, green screens were needed for that? Right? It doesn't look like a green screen. It doesn't. It does not look like a green screen. They had to be wires. It had to be, maybe the bike had a mechanism, you know, that it pedaled itself. I don't know. But it is an impressive shot. So, and then the bike gets run over by a steamroller because, long story short, someone's after him, because of course they are. And he leaps off of it and says, oh golly, I was almost gone with the Schwinn. Which is a joke I had to explain to my children. But, whatever. History is fun. It can be. Anyway, but yeah, Dr. Teeth takes the verse, and then the guitar player takes the verse, and then there's another guy who sings some shit. I don't know, I'm more familiar with the music than actually the visual that goes along with it, quite frankly. Are there 3 dudes in the band, and then Animal's the drummer, and then Janice does something. Like there's Dr. Teeth who plays the keyboards, then there's a guitar player, and then there's a guy who plays the saxophone. And then Animal plays the drums, and he doesn't sing a verse because he can't sing. And then Janice gets 2 lines, I think. Jelly belly wiggling, dancing and a giggling. Honey, that's the way I am. Those are her lines. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. What the fuck is the subtext of that? And she's standing up there in a belly shirt with a tambourine, and I'm just... You know, I have 2 sons. Yay, a conversation point in the middle of a children's film when I was not looking for one. And it's just a bit of a bummer, you know, because it's real hard to sit here and accuse Jim Henson of, like, any fucking thing. Other than dying too young. God damn it. As he was, by all accounts, a sweet, creative person. Who, again, was kind of a technical puppeteering genius. Like, not even kind of. Alright? Revolutionized the whole puppeteering thing. Man, I knew somebody in Cleveland who was a puppeteer. who had, you know, been bitten by that same bug and idolized this man. So I've learned quite a bit about him. Actually, just by sort of osmosis of hanging out with that guy. Because shit, he died when I was a little kid. Okay. He made all the movies that defined my childhood and then passed the fuck away. Quite promptly. I think the male baby here. So yeah, Janice. I hadn't forgotten about Janice. I got chapter and verse to say about poor Janice. I guess no one else is coming, or they're going to be extremely late. That's weird. You know, it seems like every other week I'll have 3 or 4 people and we'll really have a pop-in combo going, and then the off weeks it's just like me hanging out with one cool person, which is fine. We'll give it another hour. What time is it there? Like I started to say earlier, you gotta be like 12 hours off from us, right? Which makes it like the kind of late at night there, doesn't it? In South Australia? How freaking cool is that, by the way? How freaking cool is that? That we can have this conversation from so far away. I also want to say I'm not necessarily against all modern, you know, things, because the book does, if you want, we could just talk on Discord or Insta or something. I don't have either of those. Because I cannot figure out how to work Discord to save my life. I don't think I have the time to dedicate to it to figure that shit out. And I don't know. We might as well hang around, see if anybody else shows up for like an hour. But you know what? It would be really cool to set up a Discord or something. I've talked about doing that before. I would need somebody to, you know, my husband would have to help me run it or somebody. I got teenage kids, man. It's 2:23. Like in the morning? Girl? It's like noon here. Judging by the sun, it's about 11:30. But judging by the clock, it's about noon. What's up with that, huh? Gosh. Well, hey, night owls. Rock and roll. Buddy, shut the fuck up. Turn up the brightness on your screen and you can get some of this, you know, residual glow from the sun here. It is bright today out here, to the point I'm about to take my jacket off. Buddy, shut up. That worked for a second. Oh, I'm good. Australian sun is intense. I've heard. Never been there yet. It's on the list. There's some neat stuff there I'd like to see. Ayers Rock, obviously. I hear the beaches are gorgeous. It's one of those places that somebody said, hey, I got some tickets to Australia. You want to come? I'd be like, man, that sounds cool. There are definitely places I would, no. Even a free ticket, I'd be like, yeah, no. Send pictures. Have a good time. The husband was actually born in South Korea. And his friend spent some time there in the military, and between the two of them, they want to go back there and visit one of these days. And that's going to be an adventure for yours truly. I think for everybody, but definitely for me. Yeah. The book is set in England, so I have to go to England. I'm not going to pretend to be upset about that. I want to go to England anyway. No, he shouldn't do that. What, go to South Korea for a visit? People do. Not North Korea, South Korea. When he's a white boy, he's an army brat, but he was born there. Why shouldn't we go to South Korea? Is there some sort of nasty thing going on I don't know about? That's totally possible. I simply lack the fortitude to keep up with all the nasty shit going on in the world. So if you know something I don't, please share. Like I say, I need to go to England first anyway. Because this place that I've set this entire book series is a real place. I should probably go there and look at it. No. I've done my best from here in terms of women and girls. Yeah, well, no, that's true. They have some crazy feminist politics coming from, yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. The socio-political situation over there is fraught. In a word. Yes, that's true. Again, we would probably just be visiting for a week or two. I don't presume to get directly involved in their... Obviously, I support them. If I were presented with the opportunity to materially support them, I would. But, like, I don't speak any Korean. Maybe if there was a rally going on, I would hold a sign. I don't know. If there were a rally going on, I would hold a sign. But that's a hypothetical, is what I mean. And, yeah, I'm not going there looking to get involved or interfere. To me, it would be more like interfering with what they have going on, a lot of which is really amazing. I've seen some amazing footage come out of South Korea, some amazing feminist action going on there, for sure. And if I got the chance to observe, maybe to participate a little bit, that'd be amazing. But like I say, it would be a family trip with a family friend, because one of them was born there, and the other one spent some time there in the Army. I think it was the Army. So that would be what that was. There are many ways to go there. I shouldn't have said it the way I did now that I think about it. Well, like I say, one of them spent several years there. So he's got people he knows and places that he knows to go, and thank goodness for that. I'm not going to South Korea without a fucking guide. Are you joking? And again, he's a white guy from Ohio, so no language barrier. Yay. Who once gave me, I think, the best compliment maybe I've ever gotten in my life. He told me that I'm the best thing that ever happened to my husband. Yeah, so we're good. His wife is really neat too. So I think, the four of us having a trip together does not frighten me any more than it would just anyway going on a trip like that. Shoot, maybe they'll come to England with us. She has family in France, I guess. I think so. Compared to here or South Korea, that's next door to England. Or compared to South Australia, which is not next door to anywhere. Is it? Y'all are kind of out on the edge of the world, aren't you? How long is a flight to South Korea? I don't know. I can only judge from I've had a couple of friends go to Japan. And I know that flight's like 13 hours. Thank goodness Seoul is like a big, hub. Or it would be longer, I bet. They can't take the short way, They have to go around the long way. Because of wind, I guess. And I'm going to have to stand up the umbrella because I am dying. Oh my goodness. I'm dying. I'm going to have to stand up the umbrella. Where's that pole? Ah. There we go. A little bit of shade. And a little bit of breeze. Because it was starting to get warm up in here, y'all. That's just the handle of an umbrella. Don't mind that. What's okay? It would be a family trip. And then the trip to England would be research for the book. Mainly. I mean, I could easily spend weeks running around England and the UK, looking at everything from various archaeological sites that I've been fascinated with for years to, of course, Abbey Road Studios. I mean, what music fan doesn't want to go there? That's the Mecca, right? Shoot. I'd kind of just like to go to Wales, just say I've been to Wales. Because half my mom's family's from there. And then half my dad's family's from Scotland, so, which is convenient because the place that the place the book set at is actually north of Hadrian's Wall. It's practically in Scotland anyway. So. Actually, there was a good long period where that border country had sort of its own, like, law system and, like, almost like a cultural identity anyway. Which is kind of fascinating. Is there a way to claim that as a business expense? Probably. I'd still have to fund it first, though. Which... that's going to be fun. I have no idea how I'm going to manage to do that. Short of amazingly successful manifestation magic. I don't know. I'm going to have to conjure it up. Like, really, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to get the money to do all that. Because they want to go to South Korea, which is fine and all. And I want to go to England, which they're like, that's fine and all. But the priorities are, oh my God, are you kidding me? I gotta go get my phone charger. Hello?
Are you doing your thing?
Yes, dear.
Okay.
Who is the leaker? Ooh, you're fancy enough to have a lurker. A lurker? Oh, yeah. We do. We have a lurker. I don't know. We gotta run in here real quick. Get the phone cord. Oh my goodness. Everybody's home. All of a sudden. Hi, doggy wogs. Yes, come on. Oh, you broke this pot very badly. Oh, I'm so happy it's not mine. Let's see if the sound key comes with us. Please ignore the mess that is my bedroom. Please ignore the mess that is my bedroom. Oh my goodness. Just keep you nice and close to my face so you can't see it. Oh my goodness. Of course, we have to plug in the outdoor cord as well. Don't know who the lurker is, but I'm glad they're not having a lonely day. They're hanging out with us. No, I'll just stay inside for a while. I'm tired of being... Close my phone cord in the door. I'm tired of being barked at. Here's hoping the cord still works after that. iPhone chargers are not well known for their hardiness. Not in my experience, anyway. Hello, kittykins. How are you? Oh, that's better. You can kind of see the rose bush in my pretty little... It's not just me and the goddamn... Nasty old umbrella. I know it fits between them because they went through there to get the way it is. There we go. Pull this over here. Like that. And plug it in right here. Not that it's going to be able to be propped up like that because, oh, thanks for the like, other person. Alright. It is nice to be acknowledged, isn't it? Please tell me we're charging now. Yay! We're charging now. Alright. I'm just going to have to hold it for a little bit, I guess. Again. That's alright. I was doing that before anyway. Trips to various countries. Going to England. That's going to want to be a summer trip. Any idea what time of year is best to go to Korea? They have a tropical climate there, don't they? So they would have a rainy season. We wouldn't want to go there during that. Is it the summer or the winter? It's the winter, isn't it? I actually do not know. I'm not a climatologist or meteorologist or really an ologist of any sort. I'm a writer. Boy, did I try so hard to be a musician, though. Which is how I have all this knowledge about music and stuff. Yeah, so here's the question. Relevant to the just above the equator. I have no idea. Yeah, so that would be tropical. So that would be the wet and dry seasons, the two. Whatever. If I were going to actually be looking at going there, I would just look that shit up. You know. It's more like an idle question. Here's the not so idle question regarding the content for the channel. As far as music, classic rock seems to be a rich vein for rad feminalysis that everybody probably will be pretty familiar with. But you can like do chapter and verse for days on end. The Republic of Korea lies in the temperate zone with 4 distinct seasons. Really? Well, alright, thanks. So no winter trip there either, definitely. Maybe I'm thinking of Thailand. Again, a friend of mine went to Thailand, and I know it's pretty tropical there. He went in, I think, March or April? No. It was June. He went in June. It was full summer, and he said it was, thank you, Google, right? Man, I've had a Gmail account since 2002. Well, again, I kind of thought that Korea and Thailand were near one another. If I am mistaken about that, I apologize to anyone who cares, because geography I'm decently good with. I know they're both in Southeast Asia. And I know they're different places. See, and you live more in that area of the world, so it's probably much more relevant. They probably mention that shit every once in a while on the news. Whatever, you're talking to the person who thought Hawaii was where the Bahamas are until I was in, like, the 7th grade. So. It's on the map, it is. I know it's stupid. I'm aware. Sorry, mea culpa. No, I know. Hawaii is also closer to Southeast Asia. Right. Polynesia, yeah. No, eventually, I looked at a globe. Yeah. It's all good. All's well that ends well. It's the sort of thing where, if I were going to be going to South Korea, I would certainly brush up on all the facts I could find about it, because I'm a nerd like that, and then I would never forget where it was again. Oh, you weren't taught that in school there? No, I mean, just like every once in a while, I major Southeast Asia. It's mentioned on the news there more often perhaps than it is here, because you're closer to it. It's more of the region of the world where you live. Ish. Maybe. It's because up here in Northeast North America, where it's literally the other side of the planet from here. So, they really don't talk about it a whole lot. That's all I meant. So you might just have more of a better general sense of that sort of thing. The lay of it and the relations between the countries and whatnot. Just through osmosis. And then here in North America, we have it easy. We have 3 countries on the entire continent, if you count Mexico as being in North America, which a lot of people do. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. We'll go ahead and count it, because then otherwise we only have 2, which the United States and Canada are not the same country, but we're brothers with a lot in common, right? Yeah. Not exactly twins, but boy, we could be mistaken for twins. The whole Australasia thing. Right. And it's the other side of the whole planet from here, so. As opposed to Western Europe, which, boy, do we get a lot of their news. Like, tons. And, of course, Canada. Shoot. Where I'm from, up in Cleveland in northern Ohio, you can get Canadian radio and television stations. Or at least you used to be able to. Hello, dear.
Hey.
What's up?
I hate to interrupt you while you're doing your thing. I got some news about your mom last night.
Really?
Well, news about your mom today with what happened last night.
Should I turn this off?
She's alive.
Okay.
She fell and hurt herself pretty bad. I mean, if you want to turn it off, I can tell you the details, or...
We should probably wait till I'm, We're not going to rush up there to see her this minute, right?
No.
She's in the hospital, right?
I don't know. Brian told me, so
Okay.
I've sent her a text to see what's going on, but I've not heard back from her.
Okay. Would you mind asking him if she's in the hospital?
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. And I've got maybe 45 minutes left on here, and I'll come find you, because, like I say,
we're... Right here. I'm going to finish this pallet. I'm going to do some stuff outside for a little bit.
Can you give me 45 minutes before you start making a bunch of noise? I can go sit on the front porch, I guess. Alright. Gotta gather up my stuff. Actually, we're charging the phone. How much battery we got? We're down to 30% battery. Hey, Philological Bell, how you doing? Are you gonna respond to my comment or what? Well, how about I'll sit here till you're ready, and then whenever you're making noise, I'll move because I'm charging the phone. Okay, baby.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm not going to be making a lot of noise, and they'll be over real quick, so in like 45 minutes I'm going to get back.
Okay.
Back up, you hound! Hey, Owen! Owen, I need your help.
We do all right around here, you know. It's kind of a junk heap, but we have some fun sometimes. It really, I think sometimes it's like I live in a dark sitcom.
Take it over here. Go carry it.
Like,
oh, you damn dogs! I think it was fun.
that. There are moments when I can almost hear the laugh track playing.
Let's take it over here.
It's great.
Over here.
Oh, who do we lose? Oh, good, somebody's back. Hello. Yeah. Did I miss a comment? Maybe. Did I? China is very close to running Australia. It's nice and scary. Fun. I definitely missed that the first time. Feel like I live in a dark sitcom. Oh, you damn dogs. Right?
Whoa, Super Owen. All right, bring it over here, buddy. Woo!
A dark sitcom with a laugh track, because of course it would have one. Yeah. You're going to. Good. I'm looking forward to it. And like, based on what you said about the dogs, like, what did you make of Jacques then? Like, that's crazy. Because I don't know anything about contemporaneous fictional symbology. I mean, that's not true. I read Little Women, and which came out in 1868 or something, and I've read Alice in Wonderland, which actually came out in like 1865, which I did not realize how old that one was. I don't think a lot of people realize how old that one is. Because of all the modern treatments it's gotten. But yeah, Alice in Wonderland is 1865. That's a whole other conversation. I've just rambled through like 5 things. Which one is a whole other conversation, girl? Oh, man. I wish we could actually hear one another. Haven't even watched part 3 yet. No, Jacques in part 2. I thought. The photography studio. The dog in the photography studio. Which, when I say it like that, sounds like a strange idea, but there you are. I thought Jacques was being used as a metaphor for Coco's manners and good behavior and such, especially with that line, "If you are still, he will be still." Yes, I would be a lot easier it would be a lot easier with voices, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would. A dog is a metaphor. Okay. I can see that. I'm really looking forward to going back and massaging some of the stuff in book 1 with all the stuff I've learned writing books 2 and 3. That's gonna be fun. Fun on the bun. Honestly, saw no metaphor. I just saw the moment as funny. No, I know Jacques in part 2. I've watched part 2, but not part 3 yet. That's alright. It doesn't really start to get interesting until I think number 4, the crinoline chapter. Oh. It's Oh my gosh. And then there's one after that that I have to add that's like I left out on purpose. Because it was like, oh, I don't know, that's brutal. I think I'm just going to leave that out. And then it was only 35,000 words, so I have to go put it back in. Boo. The whole damn thing is over 90,000 words at this point, because the first one's 35, the second one is talking about my book. What were you talking about? Oh, here, just now. You were talking about what happened in reality just now? Why? Like, what's that relevant to? Oh, yeah. It was funny. No metaphor there. That was pretty funny, though. No, in the story, in chapter 2, there's a collie dog. The photographer has. This is always such fun. So yeah, I don't know if you're reading it or listening to it or anything. It's not mandatory for participation, obviously. But like, you write too, so you write dark stuff, right? That's what you were saying, as like some sort of self-therapy. And I seem to remember you were worried about that and like the messages that might be sending, but we had maybe addressed that pretty well before. And that's the sort of therapy that's needed for a lot of people. So, you don't need to feel guilty, in my opinion, for having your stories not meet the qualifications for that particular prize. The fact that mine does is a coincidence. There's just none of that stuff in there. There's other nasty stuff that happens, Without conflict, there's no plot, which I think is part of the problem, And I think that's maybe what that prize is alluding to, is people think, yeah, kind of. I still worry about stairs. You mean sharing certain things? Well, shit, I worry about sharing certain things. Reading those chapters of the book in front of a camera was excruciating. And it wasn't just me, it was someone else who had said that. I want to say it was either Philological Bell, who was here a minute ago, and, or Mary. I want to say it was one of those two who had said that really succinctly, that a lot of people need that kind of therapy. And, I think there's two kinds of worrying about sharing something. There's worrying about it because, it's kind of raw and it's authentic but yeah, I don't want to take credit for their insight. I'm repeating it because it's important. And very true. A lot of people do need that kind of therapy, and I think that's a big part of the reason that things like horror exist. And like I was saying, I've said this at other times, the reason we end up recreating, sometimes the same stupid relationships over and over, the same stupid situations over and over, is because we're unconsciously trying to find a way to resolve them. Which is also the purpose that, like, horror serves. It's catharsis. So we make ourselves uncomfortable on purpose to figure out how the fuck to get out of it, because it's satisfying and cathartic. That's why. It serves a very important psychological function, I would say. Or can. If used, effectively. That's not to say that, like, maybe the Saw movies are that. Some things are just scary as shit. Truly believe that horror is important to mental development. It means we can experience a bad thing without actually being around the threat. I do think we need it. Yes, you agree with it. Yeah. And like, how many examples could we think of where trying to exterminate the bad things from life just fucking backfires on people? Like, hygiene, for example. If you actually succeed in eliminating a majority of the germs from the environment, then the children who grow up in that environment will have handicapped immune systems from lack of exposure. Yeah. So that would be a pretty obvious example very scientific example, very material example right off the top of my head, where eliminating the bad backfires pretty drastically. We're actually built to deal with the environment that we're born into. Who knew? And when I say built, I don't mean designed necessarily, unless, by the forces of nature. We were having a fun little conversation about magic earlier. Little Red Riding Hood is one of the most important stories of all time. The real one? Yeah. She gets eaten, right? Like, they were warnings. The whole point of fairy tales is to be like a warning to little children. And folk tales are related to magic, aren't they? Tell my literature students that the whole point of literature is to work through emotional questions we have about life or our society. I love that. That's what I'm trying to do in my book, for sure. And raise some. I referenced the ending earlier. And it is, all of a sudden seems to be becoming a fast. I know what it is. Like, I know how it ends. Like, that's not the problem. It's just it's a bit of an unusual one, I think. So, that might kind of throw people for a loop, and it's going to raise... It answers some questions. The questions of the plot are answered, but it raises others. The whole plot raises others. That, like I say, I hope that it will be one of those things that will follow people around for a little while after they're done with it. That's all right. We were just talking about, let's see if I can summarize. It was supernatural versus paranormal. Okay, and whether we're in the magic system in my book, you have to... It is not the sort of thing where you can just sort of pick up a book and a magic wand and learn a couple of spells and all of a sudden, command great power. No. You're born with natural sensitivities and talents that can be identified and honed through years and years of practice. Okay, so the older witches are the more capable witches. So just by nature of how the thing works. There's not 12-year-olds running around, fucking levitating things and shit like that. As cool as that is. And then the other thing, as far as paranormal, which is outside, the realm of the explanation of science, versus supernatural, which is outside the realm of the natural world, which I don't think magic is. I don't think anything is. How could that be? What is outside the realm of the natural world? Nothing. So supernatural is not a thing that I work with, that I deal with. It's paranormal stuff that's outside the realm of scientific explanation. And like I say, the magic system in my story, it takes dedication and practice. So... Oh, and... men are not really capable of using it properly. They, want to control it and codify it in ways that it can't be done to, like that. And so... they just kind of drive themselves mad when they try. Which is a fun little detail. My version is way better. I think it's more realistic, right? It's less of a power fantasy for the reader. There's that noise we were worried about. He's back there building a pallet for the wood for the fire pit, so we'll give him a couple of minutes. If it gets too annoying, we'll move. Yeah, just... Oh, shit. But what was I saying? Just that, if you want to manipulate, the forces of natural energy, then, no, I know magic, but, I was in the middle of a spiel about something specific. I was driving at something specific, and then there was a drill. So. And as far as hard versus soft, it's kind of in the middle. If anyone cares about that. Boy, if I didn't do a ton of research on that, though, because, well, I haven't read a lot of fiction in like 15 years because I've been momming it up. I think the last fiction I read was Wuthering Heights, so. And then before that, I read The House of Sand and Fog, which was like on Oprah's recommended list like 20 years ago or something. Awful. Don't read it. I also read, I was living with someone at the time, and these are the books they had lying around their house. I read The Lovely Bones. Awful. Don't read it. One of the worst books I've ever read in my life. It's not a badly written book, but it is a terrible, terrible book. Don't fucking read The Lovely Bones. It's bad. I think I was minorly traumatized by it. No joke. And The House of Sand and Fog is just a stupid story. That's a good way to make a magic system. If a magic system gives most people too much power too quickly, it becomes difficult to imagine how a hierarchical society remains stable like that. Right, exactly. What's up, boo?
But I want to stay with you.
Oh, I love you so much. I am going to be done. Do not read The Lovely Bones. No, agreed. Right. Bad, terrible book. I love you, baby. I'm almost done on here, okay? I'll be off here in a few minutes, and Daddy's going to be You know what? Take it if you want. I don't care. Break it to pieces. I don't care. Have a good time. It's a bare piece of tile from when we remade the bathroom. I get interrupted literally every 5 minutes. Every day of my life. So, if I occasionally seem a little batty, that's probably why. Yeah, hard versus soft, and where you have to actually build experience to gain power. Yes. I think one issue is that there are no longer spaces for magic. What, in reality? What do you mean? The scientific paradigm would love to have you believe that they've explained everything, but they haven't. People still find it, and then, well, right, yeah. Well, frankly, you might look at it as a metaphor for the fact that a lot of the things that women do and a lot of ways that women do things that, to a man might appear to be magic because they don't understand how the fuck we did that. They don't understand how the fuck we got there, do they? You can't even explain it to them half the time. They're just like, what? They just kind of look at you. Like, what? I mean, the same's true in reverse. That's for sure. In a way that leads to helpful somethings. In that, women have... Oh, yeah. Well, again, the Victorian era was the beginning of the modern world as we know it. Your words are not working. Well, it might have something to do with the fact that it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning there. It's okay. It's good. Being interrupted 5 minutes would make me much worse than batty, so you're doing all right. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I made sure to get plenty of sleep last night and all that stuff, and I'm doing good right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know how it is. We all have good days and bad days. I think a couple of weeks ago, I had a bad day on camera. That sucked. Which is why we're doing the phone now, because the computer is really not good for anything but typing. But, thank goodness for that. Oh, my God, y'all. I wrote the first one out all longhand, and then typed it up all in a chunk. That was a mistake. Find churches, coffee shops, and certain kinds of museums to be magical places in a way. Oh, yes. Well, that's because her excellent hat. She's using its power. Well, yeah, you got to use all your glamour to its utmost, right? Come on. And I say glamour, in the magical fae sense of glamour, not like the Hollywood sense. Because words. Oh my God, and the corruption of words. That's something we were talking about last week, was the removal of women-specific, female-specific terms from the English language, which I object to. Yeah. If you want to be an actress, more power to you. I don't understand why actor would be the generic one, because that's the masculine one. Why is the masculine one you know, the default one again. And someone made the argument that actress, I agree with you, Epilogicabella. I use cinemas, parks, and gardens myself. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Rather than summarizing the combo from last week. Yeah, well, those places are really energetically charged, aren't they? Because here's a crazy thought. You know that energy that you tell yourself you're not really feeling, that it's in your imagination? It's not. So there you go. A P is neither a need nor a nut. Discuss. Anyone getting these 30-year-old Saturday Night Live references? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Whatever, I amuse myself. If we're not amusing ourselves, what are we doing? Right? With our lives? Bitchin'. Ooh, there's another old word. I'm getting to the point I'm old enough, I think I use outdated slang without realizing it, but bitchin' is definitely an old one. Whatever, I got my Benny and June hat on today, so might as well be 1992 up in this bitch, right? Except that I lived through 1992. I remember 1992, and the music was awful. I think in my opinion... Whatever, I was only born in 83. I don't actually remember the 80s. I do remember 92. You know, from the perspective of a 9-year-old. Bitchin'. No, yeah, some of those seasons, they've lived on, you know. Some of those seasons were really good. Those old seasons of SNL from, like, the early 90s. They had some good people on there. They had, you know, Adam Sandler and fucking Chris Farley. And I just saw Sandler talking about something in some clip the other day about how he and Chris Farley got fired on the same day. Yikes. There was an executive error for you. Yeah. For Saturday Night Live, anyway. Of course, those two went on to each have some pretty successful film careers for themselves. So maybe it worked out in their favor. Blessing in disguise. Anyways, yeah, so classic rock, you guys. Rad fem analysis of classic rock songs / bands / albums / people, individuals. I'd be more comfortable with analyzing the actions of specific individuals who are deceased. Fortunately for us, classic rock is fucking littered with them, right? Some of the biggest names in that genre are dead, so that's easy. Man. Jim Morrison. Skunk Annis. What about it? Oh, is that from an old Saturday Night Live bit? I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Sounds fun, though. You ever seen Mad TV? It's like the poor man Saturday Night Live. Skunk Anansi. No, it's a band. Oh. Cool. They a classic rock band? I bet they have stuff down there in Australia I've never heard of. I would be really interested to get to know some new stuff actually from that era, because at this point it's been a while. You know, they're not really making any new 70s concept albums, you know. Not Australian? Okay. I've never heard of them. Are they, like, old school, if you will? Pre-digital is what I mean by that. So, like, mid-80s, when everybody went digital hardcore, in the recording studios anyway. Check out Everything Hurts. Cool. You'd watch it. Cool. Again, I think a lot of people will be familiar with the subject matter. You know, most people know who Jim Morrison was, for example. When I was going to say, random factoid about Jim Morrison, he was the first person to ever be arrested for indecently exposing himself on stage. So, that's fun, right? He was a character. Yeah. One of the few baritones in rock music. They just went woke, but yeah, excellent sound prior to that. Oh, okay, so they're still out there making stuff. Right on. Are they good? Do they need radfem analyzed, or I need to come up with a term for that. Excuse me. Radfemicized. I don't know. I'm gonna put them through the RF meter. I don't know. Ooh, I should come up with a simplistic rating, an overly simplistic, jokey rating system. A 1 to 10 on the RF meter. She was so cool. It was cool. What did I miss? Oh. Then God. Yeah, there's been a lot of that going around. One of the reasons I'm glad to live on the edge of nowhere. I'm not as exposed to a lot of that shit. I don't know. Having been essentially a recovered trans person myself, I feel like I'm kind of immune, but you never know. You just never know with the brain worms. You never know. Ooh. There are plenty of other people who you would have thought would have been pretty immune who turn out they're not immune at all. And a lot of it, I think, is level of exposure. I do. I've had to just kind of get out of a lot of it. Because I can't. I can't repeat myself. I can only repeat myself so many times. Also, I'm writing a book. Or 3. For me, it just hurts when I'm like, yay, lesbian. And then she says something lesbophobic. Yeah, that'll hurt the old noggin. That's a real head scratcher there. Like I say, people who you would think would be immune, and they're not at all, not in the slightest. And it just makes you wonder about why, what? Babe? Babe? He unplugged my cord. Which completely defeats the purpose of staying over here. Babe! Did you unplug my cord?
The door cut the extension cord and popped the breaker.
Oh, okay. So, I have no power. Here we go. No. So. Can we fix that?
We'll have to buy a new extension cord. Like, it's cut. It blew. Like, it popped the breaker.
Okay. Who the fuck is running the drill? Oh, God. Okay.
No, I'm letting him do some of the small stuff.
He's 15. No, yeah, good.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm having Owen use the Sawzall.
Shut up. That's alright, y'all. It's been... What time is it? Yeah. We'll go another 15 minutes till 1 o'clock, and then we'll cut it anyway, okay? Because it's been a really fun, chill time, but man, of course I got other stuff to do. Door don't break cords. This one, okay. It has been stretched underneath this door for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half. So, and that door is very heavy traffic. So, it's plausible. I will go and look at it, but, I mean, the alternative is sabotage. So, you know. which would be stupid. They're over there using a drill. They're already sabotaging the goddamn live stream session, right? So, it would just be redundant. And it's going to send me in the house to charge my phone, which will get me away from the noise. So it would be self-defeating on top of that. No. All signs point to that story checking out, actually. As lame as it is. Again, I feel like I live in a dark sitcom, so things like that just kind of happen. Where something happens and you're like, wait, what? No, it didn't. What? No, that's not. What? Really? That would be outrageous. And then, sure enough, that's exactly what fucking happened. And then, yeah, you just become the butt of the joke for ever having doubted it in the first place. It's okay. I think before I moved down here and got involved in all of this, insert the Office theme music, right? Right, no, it's like before I moved down here, it was more like a Wes Anderson movie. You know, think more Royal Tenenbaums, less the Fantastic Mr. Fox, you know. Although, like, all his movies are so, like, they're quirky and cute and dark as fuck. Like, Mr. Fox gets his fucking tail blown off. Like, what the fuck? That shit's dark. Okay. I don't know, a rad feminalysis of that shit's boring. I feel like that would be boring. But, like, yeah. Like, right? Oh my god. And you want to talk about, like, the Uncanny Valley. To me, the Fantastic Mr. Fox exists firmly in the middle of the Uncanny Valley. And, like, it's, like, they did the claymation with their fingers, so, like, the fingerprints of the fucking, like, you can't see them, really, because they move with every frame. But so, the fur on these little critters kind of moves in this way as they move, which is, like, I don't know. Like, they're constantly standing in an unseen breeze. I don't know. I don't know. And it's George Clooney, which is weird. Because I can never not hear George Clooney. Wallace and Gromit. Yes. At least Wallace and Gromit don't have fur. Like, they didn't try to make Wallace and Gromit realistic looking. They at least look like cartoons. So I can kind of forgive that one. And, like, some claymation is beautiful. Like, my ex and I went to see Coraline in 3D in the theater. And let me tell you, 3D is much more amazing when the shit was 3D to begin with. Yeah. It was pretty immersive and pretty beautiful. You can see the fingerprints. Yeah. It's just, it's less weird to me because it's not on all these, I don't know. Like I say, Wallace and Gromit is not made to have, like, their level of realism. And, like, shit gets blown up in Wallace and Gromit all the time and no one ever gets hurt. You know, it's a cartoon, basically. Like a Warner Brothers cartoon. Yeah, no, I do. I think Wallace and Gromit is better. It's certainly more entertaining to watch. If that's your metric for better, which I guess it would be. It should be, probably. I think that's what they were going for. When you're making video entertainment, you're probably trying to be entertaining to look at. So, Wallace and Gromit wins that over Fantastic Mr. Fox, yes. I haven't seen them all. God, nowhere near. We had on video cassette, in the same place we lived with family for several years, the same place they had the Lovely Bones on a bookshelf. They had the one where they go to the moon, and the one with the fantastic pants, or whatever it was, on a video cassette. So, we've seen both of those several times. I say we, me and my son, who was 4 and 5 at the time. He's a 15-year-old back there using the drill now. Oh. I'm gonna be 40 in October. It's alright. Robin was the new Aardman movie. The people who made Wallace and Gromit. Right on. It's adorable. Oh, good. Cool. If I see it, you know, we'll put it on. I don't think I've heard of that one, but if I see it, we'll put it on. Again, there's been so much stuff out lately, and like they're not giving them proper releases anymore. They're just, sort of throwing them out right on top of one another, and it's hard to keep up with. It was hard to keep up with anyway. Like, I mean, like, for example, back when Frozen 2 came out, they gave that one the full treatment, right? With promos for months beforehand, and the theater release, and all the big follow. And then by the time Forward came out, everybody was on lockdown, and they just kind of put that shit out on TV. And I still am old, I guess, and I will see something about a film that's coming up, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a film that's coming up, right on. And then literally the same week, you agree it's a film person. Holy hell, it's hard to keep up. Well, wow, you saying that really means something, and I don't feel so bad all of a sudden. Thank you. But like, especially when the way that they do, like I'll say, okay, there's a film coming up. All right, cool. And then literally the same week, it'll be on the TV. Like, there, we'll watch now, blah. I'm like, what? Like, wait, but like, I wasn't even prepared to like. But I'm not mentally prepared to watch that film yet. I only just read about it yesterday. Which suddenly strikes me as just adorably old-fashioned. Because, for ages, until maybe less than 10 years ago, you hate the binge watch model. I think for television shows it can work. For a season of a television show it can work. As far as films, having episodes of a show come out 1 week at a time is so much better. See, you're talking to the person who will allow myself to be too busy to watch this shit on a weekly basis, because I will miss one. The anti-binge is becoming a thing. Well, that's just, your pendulum swing of culture, right? Where we'll kind of explore one thing to its logical extreme, or the OG, the original gangsta way, if you will. Yes. And no, but you're talking to the person who, and this goes way, way back, especially since stuff became available on demand. Shit, yeah. I will just become purposely too busy to watch the fucking season every week as it comes out, because I will miss one here or there and piss myself off. And then watch the whole season when it's all available on my own time, because I'm a busy and forgetful person. That was actually a godsend for me. And I don't really want that to go away. I want that to remain an option. Yeah. If people want to release stuff on a weekly basis and enjoy it that way, and like the tension of waiting between the episodes, more power to you. I don't know. I got enough tension in my own life. Like, I'm good on that. I don't need to be wondering about the fate of a fictional character for days on end. Thank you very much. It's also about comments. Like, they get more engagement when they drag out the episodes. Yes, no, I read about that. That's legit. As I say, I don't object to that being an option. The original way the television's been broadcast for decades, that's cool. That model works. And it works as a storytelling model as well, as you say. And it gets up the engagement, and, that's all good. Me personally, I have not found that it works well for me, because I will miss a week. I will. I'm just going to miss a week. That's just going to happen. It is inevitable. I am not good at following fucking weekly installments of anything. So I wait until I can just kind of watch it all on my own time. Oh no, I meant that if enough people complain, they change their model. Oh! Well, right, because, money. Because, their shareholders are going to start losing money. So. Yeah, like Netflix. Ouch. It's the same. I'm the same. My Netflix is littered with series I've watched 2 episodes of and not had time to finish, but I'm fine to miss things and catch up later. Right, yeah. I don't mind spoilers, though. That helps a lot. Because, again, as a storyteller, like, how you get to the conclusion is at least half the fun for me. There's a series coming out weekly. I'll just wait till it's all out before I start. Right, yeah. But so, how you get to the conclusion is at least half the fun for me. And so I don't mind if in the waiting around I overhear certain things, and have a plot point or two spoiled for me, and I know that it's coming, I don't mind that. Because it's still plenty interesting to me to see how it's all strung together and how it's all done, in the bigger picture of it all. I'm not, still worried about hearing some details here and there. Every once in a while, I'll seek them out, and there have actually been a couple of times when that's worked in my favor. For example, Downton Abbey. Fuck that melodramatic shit. Hey, look, a plug that works. Good. Supernatural is the perfect show for this. It had very little views compared to other shows, but still made it 15 seasons. Smallest group of fans made it keep going. I guess. I don't know. You're talking to somebody who's married to a Firefly fan, so it's kind of hard for me to just be like, oh yeah, they'll keep stuff going because of this little cult following. But they don't always. It's a different company, I suppose. I actually don't know much about Supernatural. Other than that, yeah, it's gone on forever. But it strikes me as maybe somebody's connected somewhere. Ooh, Firefly. Right, yeah. Love Firefly, right? They can't even bring it back now because everybody's too damn old. It's been 20 fucking years. So I don't think that's gonna happen. So, boo. But, man, say something like that in a room with a Firefly fan and you gotta, god damn, like, they don't take kindly to that shit. Like, literally the alarm that gets him out of bed in the morning is that clip, about being big damn heroes. Oh, you have. You've had that experience. Yeah, so, I don't know. About, like, it's not all about fan reaction, it's not all about, and again, that was a while ago. But they were made aware of the fan reaction to the cancellation of that show, and, others. There are a lot of others. That's just the one that is constantly on my horizon. Buffy was on the air for like 8 years, though, right? Buffy didn't get canceled early. Buffy got an ending and everything. Right. Well, see, that's part of the reason that, people, the Firefly fans, feel like they were done dirty is because Buffy was before that. You would think that after having a successful series like that, they would have just let him do what he was trying to do. And, the money wouldn't have been a concern. But, so, I don't know. We've all since apparently learned that he's kind of a dick, so maybe he pissed somebody off. Hot take, but I think most TV shows have an ideal runtime of 2 seasons plus or minus 1. Most British shows stick to this. American shows tend to drag it out. Joss had a lot of problems after Buffy. Think Dollhouse. Oh my god, I forgot about Dollhouse. Ugh. Well, I guess he pissed somebody off then. Sucks to be him. Anyway, no, I think you're right about the sweet spot. I would say 3 seasons maybe. On the other hand, there are some of my favorite shows to the 4th season is like one of the best. So I think it depends on the writers. Oh, good, he left the dog in here and left him in here. But yeah, I think it depends on the writing team. A lot of concepts have a limited arc that they are capable of fueling, and after that, you have to come up with character development, basically. So, if you're good at that, you can wring more out of your concept. Right, I think it depends on the team. Exactly. And if you're good, then you can wring, a good 4 or 5 seasons out of a solid concept through developing the concept. And then there are some times where you're watching season 5 and you realize that they are just there for the paycheck at that point. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that happens.
Oh, there you go.
I did.
Yeah.
Lost my sound. How about now? Can you hear me now? I turned the microphone or the speaker off. It was, I think it had attached itself to the speaker. Back again. Okay, cool. Here's 2 exceptions. Doctor Who got so bad after David Tennant. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God. That's a good example of a show actually where I think it was the 4th season, which was Tennant's 3rd season, which was actually kind of amazing. Yeah, say hi to Owen. Alright, go on.
You said I could have one of these.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Go tell your daddy you want lunch. Tennant was great and then got, well, you know, part of it was Stephen Moffat. Y'all ready for some geeky shit right now? Because Stephen Moffat already knew the minute that he came in that was not going to go well, and here's why. He wrote a mini-series based on the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, with which everyone is probably vaguely familiar. Well, you know what I'm going to say? Have I said this before, or you know this? Because this feels like a nitpick to me, but it says so much. Okay, well, like, Robert Louis Stevenson. Oh, I'm good. That's good. I'm audible now. Because this is a nitpick, but it says a lot to me about Stephen Moffat and who the fuck he is, and, like, people like him. So, Robert Louis Stevenson is from Edinburgh. He's the fellow who wrote the novella? Not long. I've read it. Hello. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Robert Louis Stevenson was from Edinburgh. But if you open the book, on the first page, it says that Dr. Jekyll lived in London. Jekyll, whatever. Like, it says that on the first fucking page. Yeah, this here mini-series that fucking Stephen Moffat wrote, he places Dr. Jekyll in Edinburgh. Like, specifically. It makes a thing about that, actually, at one point. And, I was just like, what? Like, you know Dr. Jekyll is not Robert Louis Stevenson. Right? You know that's not a self-insert What are we doing? Like, so either the man made a deliberate decision to confuse the author and the character in the book, who is not even the protagonist of the novel. The novel is first-person narrative from someone else. You know, sort of a la Dr. Watson. You know, from a third-person observer. You know, someone who is just sort of seeing all this from the outside. It's a fun framing device. It's a fun little book. I recommend to anybody. It's, you know, it's suspense. It's kind of spooky. It's actually pretty scary in a couple of spots. And the films really don't do it justice because they, you know, go way overblown with it, of course. But yeah. So either he made the deliberate decision to confuse the character and the author, or he did not crack the book. And just wrote this miniseries from, you know, cultural knowledge that he had picked up about the story. Because it's sort of a sequel to it. And I enjoyed it. Despite myself. Because he's a fun writer. He writes snappy dialogue and shit, right? And fun action scenes and stuff like that. And I just love I love the source material. It's one of my favorite, you know, novels, I guess. If I had to pick favorite novels. So... yeah, I don't know. You're so right, but holy crap, don't even get me started on a whole Mary Wollstonecraft episode. I must have blocked that out because I don't know what you're talking about. It's been years since I've seen this. I just remember honing in on that one factoid and going, oh my god, just stop and kind of blowing a fuse over that. Because it's so stupid. and that this man has been put in charge of not one but two of my favorite British, English specific, British. He was from Edinburgh. I just said that. Properties. What you call that? Intellectual properties. Being Dr. Jekyll and Doctor Who. There's a similarity I only just now noticed. They're both doctors. Loosely speaking. Yeah, that just ticked me off. I'm like, oh, okay, they've given him this one now too, huh? It's like J.J. Abrams all over again. Right, dang, do you have notes, right? Like, I haven't even watched, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be straight up, I stopped watching after Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi's worked for the BBC for, like, ever, and I've seen him in a couple of other things and have some, like, respect for him as an actor. So when they gave the role to him, I was like, finally, someone real! Someone older than me, who I can have some confidence following into space and time. Matt Smith looks like a guy I went to middle school with. So, that didn't help. Either. And then I stopped watching after that because, like we all knew where that was going, right? And all the reviews were exactly that. And so I have loved this show since the early 90s when no one else around here knew what the fuck it was. Yes. I was spared watching a man give birth. Yes. And they've sort of turned it into some sort of weird wokeism playground of television writing, and I just am not on board for that. And there was a bit of that in Capaldi's last season or two. There was a bit of that. And mainly I really objected to how they just took all the stuff, all of the universe building that had been done during the Davis years and just threw it away. That pissed me off. Oh, and Sherlock. I almost forgot about Sherlock. I mentioned Dr. Watson earlier, and I forgot about Sherlock. How did I do that? See, I think I just block these things out sometimes. Love how they made the female doctor a trans thing. Made me beyond that. I guess, but like, how did they specifically do that? I don't think I was aware of that. Like, there are female Time Lords. Time Ladies. They exist. They used to every once in a while pop up in the show. Anybody remember Romana? Like, she had a regeneration and everything. For me, the comparisons were the straw. Amy Pond had literally no personality or life outside of her relationship, and it makes things boring. Right, I know. Like, and as a fellow redhead, I really wanted to like her. And I hated that character. Like, compared to Rose, like, as a well-written character with, like, relationships with other people and, like, a life outside the fucking TARDIS, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, and we will need to talk about this. It's hardcore, and I'm not sure I can explain. Yeah, I guess maybe we will. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to watch that shit, aren't I? And then there's Clara, who I don't think they knew what the fuck they wanted to do with that character at all. I don't think they knew. I swear to God. It felt like 4 different people wrote that character. And, props to Jenna Coleman. She tried really hard. She really gave it her all to make any of that shit make any fucking sense. And it was also annoying how they kind of did this thing, like, they kind of did this thing with Rose Tyler, but again, she was a character who worked, so it almost kind of worked, And once, where they make the show all about this companion girl, yeah, by the second or third iteration of that shit got old. So we don't need a magical girl to, like, save the universe. Like, what the fuck is this chosen girl shit? Why do we have this over and over again? It's almost as if Stephen Moffat is not great at coming up with original ideas. I don't know. And then he wrote The Girl in the Fireplace, which is a great episode, so... Do you have help with that? I don't know. I sure as shit wouldn't put him in charge of anything. Every random question about Sherlock. Why is Moriarty like a baby? Like, Moriarty's supposed to be like a college professor. Nigga should have been at least 50. The woman who played Martha left because of racial harassment, apparently. So upsetting. Martha was a great character, too. That's fucking... Rose, Donna, Martha, they were actual people accompanying the doctor, which made them useful point of reference characters. Exactly, point of reference characters. And, like, Donna's granddad, who didn't love him? Yeah, Martha was great. Martha was very capable. And I loved how Martha, you know, really made an effort to think things through. Rose went with her gut. Martha was very analytical, as, you know, a medical student would be. And that was fun. And then they did stupid shit with her, like took her back to see Shakespeare and shit. And it's like, why did you take Rose to see Shakespeare? That would have been cool. I don't know. That seems stupid. Because, you know, they're writing this. They can do whatever they want. Whatever. New companion, 3rd season weirdness, I guess. That's why the actress didn't come back when offered she left. Brits have some weird identification with Doctor Who, and it makes us kind of racist about it. Like, some people were freaking out about the new Doctor being black. The new Doctor is black? Okay. I got news for y'all. Some of the most famous British actors in the entire world are black. I'm trying to think of his name. Shit. He played like an investigator. He has a rather African name though. But he opens his mouth and is as English as they come. I can't think of his name. I just said he was wicked famous and I can think of his name. Anyways. Yeah. Luther! Yes, thank you. That one. So, you know, some of the most famous representation of British acting right now in the whole world are black people. Is black men. So, for whatever that's worth. It's a sore spot here in the United States for a lot of us as well. And I think I just let my Cleveland show a few minutes ago, actually. I don't know if nobody noticed that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I grew up in a very urban area with many neighbors and friends who are quite rich in melanin blessings. So, yeah, I don't know. You pick up cultural stuff. I don't know. I'm sorry. I try not to let it out. I try to keep it inside. But, yeah, anyways. Does anyone remember what Luther's real name is? Idris Elba! Thank you! Yes, he is a beautiful man. Is he not? Is he not a beautiful man? Anyway, I digress. I did not realize that they'd recast the Doctor again, honestly, because I've been sort of staying away from all of that. Because it makes me upset. Because it's like, yeah, you're right. The Doctor has historically been a white male character. Yes, this is true. The thing about that is he's from an entire planet of other people, many of whom are like him. You know, every once in a while, like they made the... Actually, so much hate towards Jodie. I don't know if she deserved it or not. Like I say, I did not watch them. I'm sure she did the best with what they gave her. Being an actress and all is what you do. That's why you're there, you know, to make the best of the material you've got. The worst time to do this switch. Why? I mean, you know, I was gonna say they did The Master. I fucking loved Missy. I thought that worked. I thought that actress was hilarious in that role. She did not deserve it at all. Very sad. No, and when they made The Master a woman, I thought that worked. That was hilarious. And I loved that they made her a Victorian woman. Because, can we say Mrs. Medlock? Hello, that worked. Okay? Missy was like Mrs. Medlock with a sense of humor. It was great, and I loved it. That worked. So why did that work and the other didn't work? Could have been the showrunner? Maybe. So tell me, is the new Doctor a black woman, then? Which, here in the United States, I guess we would consider that the full flippity-flop. But anyway, what I was getting at is they could simply, like, the Doctor is coming to the end of his lives. Okay, like, you only get 13. You only get 12 regenerations. And he was at, what, 12? Right? And What's-Her-Face made 13, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, he's done. I hate to say this, but they could just kill off the character and make a new one. Have him choose a successor, for God's sake. There was a hot second there when it did seem like the Doctor would be a black woman. And, like, again, I don't really super care about that one way or the other, but, like, it's bad writing. It's lazy writing. If you want a black female Time Lord, just fucking write one. Create one. It's all fiction. You can do whatever you want. Oh, no, you're so behind. Yeah, the Doctor busted through that law years ago. No, I know. They came up with, actually, if I recall, at least a couple of different ways that they were trying to do that. And I'm not on board with that because what is the point of it then? Again, it's lazy writing. And if you want to essentially replace the character, just replace the character. There is an open door to do that in the original concept of the character. I haven't seen any Who after Matt Smith, but I get the sense that they're trying to diversify the show to attract attention because they've run out of good script ideas. The point is money. Well, if they've run out of good script ideas, I don't know what to tell them. Because, again, it is a giant sandbox, that universe. And me and various other people with whom I've been acquainted over the years could give them lots of ideas for that. Pretty sure I just gave them, like, a spin-off idea or reboot idea. You know. Is the BBC hurting for money again? Because that ridiculous shit, I understand, still goes on. Every other story is still interesting. Because it can't not be. Just to mess with us. No, I really think it's because it can't not be. Because that universe is just so, excuse me, my nose is just like crazy. That universe is just so rich. You know, and it's 1963 was the first episode of that show. You know, like, there is a wealth of lore to draw from. Somewhere around here I have a book full of it. The Doctor proper needs to end. Spin-off series will be really good, like Sarah Jane Smith Adventures and Torchwood. Right, we're legitimately good in their own right. That's why the BBC is bringing Tennant back. That and he's good. I mean, I can't fault them for that. I can't fault them for that. Aside from it being kind of stupid. How the fuck are they going to rationalize that? You don't have to explain it. It's fine. You don't have to explain that. I'm sure it will run across an explanation from, you know, I don't know, one of the, you know, other media reviewer people I watch. The new Doctor is Tennant. And then the new Doctor. Because after Martha left in universe, didn't she become a medical doctor in the U.S. Army and get involved with alien tech research and stuff? A spin-off show based on that would be amazing. It would. But I guess they couldn't get her back because they pissed her off. So, I'd watch a show about Martha. Fuck yeah. Yeah, Torchwood was a great show right up until, like, the second half of the last season there. When they fucking killed everybody. Spoilers. That made me really mad. Except Jack, of course. And Gwen. But, like, everyone else. Like, half the fucking planet, if I remember. That show was gonna happen, but she left. God. That would have been good, too. That would have been, like, Torchwood level good, I bet. Torchwood was the best, and then they ruined it. That's right. That's right. I swear, it's like they cut their funding or something, and the writers were just like, fuck it, and torpedoed the whole thing. That's what it felt like. Oh my god. Like, maybe what's the name of the capital of Wales again? Jesus. I'm having a brain day. Oh, why, right? Why? Yes. Oh my god. Torchwood season 3 has Charmat. Right, yes, it was awful. I hated it. You want to talk about binge watching? I binged that show while I was sick one time. Cardiff, thank you. Maybe their Cardiff studio, like, got its budget cut or some shit. I don't know. Gonna lament the decline of TV writing in your country, though. To be fair, you have right. You do have Fleabag, man. That's one I've been meaning to watch. That one looks like one that I'm gonna need the tissue box for. Speaking of that guy who played Moriarty, huh? He's in that. He plays that priest guy. That looks cute. I love the actual the concept of the talking to the audience as kind of hiding from reality, like she's pretending she's talking to a camera, but she is because it's a television show. I don't know. That's so meta and cute and fun. I love that concept. And then, you know, I guess he calls her out on it, which is just that looks like so much fun. And how the writer was like, nope, and I'm done. Torchwood 4 was kind of cool, but scary but cool. Thought. Is that after the world ends and everyone is killed? Because if there's more after that, I did not watch it because I don't think it existed at the time. Again, we're talking over 10 years ago when I saw that. Closer to the time that it came out. And, yeah, no, like I say, I was sick and I just binged it all in a couple of days, and like they killed off all the characters, like tertiary characters were fucking killed off. I seem to remember, like, epic level of death, and you're just sitting there going, but why? But why though? I mean, you know, Jack's gonna be fine because Jack is always fine. There are 4 seasons of Torchwood. There are years between seasons. Right. So is season 4 after the massive wave of death? Because if it is, then I did not watch it. You hate season 3. Yeah, I think season 3 may be the one I'm referring to. I think it might be the one I'm referring to. Because, yeah. I didn't, and if there was, it's like a whole other show. Yeah, no, I don't think I watched that one. Is it worth watching after all this time? You know, I mean, I did love Gwen as a character, for what it's worth. I love Fleabag, and if you felt so inclined to do a rad fem analysis of it, that would be super interesting. Feminism is a prominent minor theme in the show. Minor theme? I mean, I haven't seen it. I've just seen things about it and read some things about it. Death being paused is worth watching. Alright, cool. But yeah, Fleabag is high on my list of things to actually get the fuck around to watching. Unfortunately, I would have to sit in the living room to do it. That's really, that's a little dicey around here. So, but, you know, might make the husband sit down and watch it with me if we're going to be doing an analysis of it. We can do episode by episode if it's that. If I think it needs it, if it warrants it, you know what I mean? But, like, we could start with music. I don't know. Well, we could do a video about a song or something for next week. And, next Friday. Didn't have a video this Friday, 'cause it's been, like I say, eyeball deep in book 3, y'all. Oh my gosh. But so, yeah, I'll just see what music floats by through the ether this week. What I feel like ranting about, because that's just kind of how it goes. Like, the music business rants and stuff, unlike the socio-cultural, you know, media rants, are just, like, so ordinary for me that a lot of times I don't even realize that I've done it. I didn't explain it right. So Torchwood season 4 is like death is gone, so imagine all the issues that would come from death stopping. No, yeah. That show is never nice. That's not what Torchwood, you don't go to Torchwood because it's nice. As in, like, feminism is mentioned a lot in the show, but the main plot isn't about feminist issues, per se. Well, right. It's subtext. But I gather that it's very close to the surface level subtext. And not just necessarily feminism, but like millennial feminism or like the lack thereof, right? And just generally the lack of social structure and networks for us. Women our age and younger and older, but every once in a while something has to be about us. That was how it struck me, anyway. But again, I've said before that, like, everything to me is feminist. Everything to me can be related back somehow to feminist politics because it's just kind of the world I live in. This is sort of my little corner of the universe. Is a woman with too big a brain for her own fucking good. Yeah. Just kind of live and breathe that shit. So to me, yeah, hammer and nail kind of thing, right? So if, other people see those themes as being, more subtle, I probably won't. They're probably going to stick right out to me. And the girl that's in it, the lady that's in it, she wrote it, right? That's because it can't all be related back. Right, thank you. And it doesn't seem like a stretch to me anyway. It doesn't seem like a perspective that gets discussed a lot in mainstream anything. Especially right now in the mainstream anything, they're kind of trying to pretend like women as a group don't exist. I literally had a back and forth with someone about this a couple of weeks ago. It might have been last week. I don't know. Every once in a while we'll get a troll in here. And somebody was asking me, saying something about, no, I think that was last week, was saying something about how, that women as a discrete group don't exist. And I was like, yes, we do, though. Exactly. The lack of networks is a noticeable absence in the show. You're right. Exactly. And I think that part of what it does with her character is it highlights that. I don't know if she's necessarily meaning to do it from a feminist angle, but being a young woman and highlighting that, I think just sort of paints it that way. Because our perspective makes certain men have less money. Right. Certain men. Oh, gosh, it's not just about money, though. Is it? Right. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. So that's really cool that she wrote it and is playing and plays the character. But, that's the sort of thing that only she could do the portrayal. Only she could portray that the way that it should be done, I think. She's an amazing writer. She wrote a show, Crashing, which is similar in tone to Fleabag, and that's also really good. It's about assets, I guess. Right. Control over assets. Yeah. How do you define asset? I did not know she wrote Crashing. That's cool. That one seems like more like sort of a 20-something kind of thing, which, again, I'm just kind of over all that in my life. But, if it's good, great. Good. I've heard it's good. But like I say, I'm past it. Waller-Bridge's writing is like the symphony of efficiency. There's only a single scene in Fleabag, which isn't either a setup or payoff for some future earlier moment in the show. That reminds me of something I keep encountering. Because I've never written a novel before, so I've done a bunch of research into writing novels. Maybe assets equals a thing one can use or trade for personal gain. Right. Define thing. So, yeah, but like, a lot of the writing advice that I've been, taking in, one of the things they keep saying is that every scene should serve a purpose. And if you have a scene in your story that does not serve any purpose for the plot, you need to remove it, no matter how much you love it or how much fun you had writing it. And I just thought to myself, why did you write a scene that had no purpose? Like, why did you write it? What are you doing? Or, you're making all of this shit up. Give it a point. Think of something in your story that you need to illustrate for your reader, and then figure out a way to make that scene do that. Duh. Waller-Bridge said in an interview that she did Fleabag as a stage play first, right? I've heard that, and performed it herself. So of the various performances, she figured out which bits audiences liked most. Workshopping. Right. Well, that goes back to what we were saying earlier about needing time and practice to hone things. Exactly. Thing equals an object or creature which had no relevantness. What if an asset's just a resource of some kind? Something of value that can be used to either find or create more resources. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And as far as her writing being efficient and tight, that's great. I love to hear that. Thing equals an object or creature which can be used to add to one's wealth. Right. A resource. Something that can be drawn upon for one's own enrichment. Or, towards one's own ends. Ah, dang it. Yeah, okay. Right. So, under certain broad definitions of resource, all sorts of things might fall into that category. But I digress, because it's really a whole conversation unto itself, and I kind of need to go. My throat is dry, and I'm hungry, and it's been 2.5 hours of fun. This has been fun, y'all. Thank you for hanging with me today. And, 3 thing equals an object to be used for one's own needs, however one may see fit. Right. I mean, like I say, something that can be used for one's own enrichment or goals. Not necessarily that it has to be. No, I just, I don't mean to be vague. I don't mean to be, I just, I blurted it out last week, I think. Yeah. The, greatest resource. Yeah, I'll get there. Thanks for the help. Gonna go walkies. It's nice chatting with you guys. Have a great rest of your weekends. Bye-bye, Philological. Have a nice one. And, respond to my comment, please. Bye. Yeah. Just think about, for the megalomaniacally minded, if I want to be a lexicographer, I'm helping. You want to be a lexicographer, and you're helping, and I'm helping. Is it to be the fine art of talking around things? Or what? Yeah, but yeah, no, so if you're concerned with building and maintaining wealth and power, think about it. What's one of the biggest key resources that you would be concerned about? Dictionary definitions of hobby close enough. They're a good start. They're a good start. It's a good baseline to jump from, the dictionary. Oh, no, you're going to be a dictionary person. That's what you're saying. Who doesn't love dictionaries? How else would we learn to talk around things? Although I'm of the mind that I don't think English has any true synonyms. It seems that every different word has its own shade of meaning. Which, you know, it seems like you're a person whose opinion on that might really be interesting. This just come, you know, from writing. Because sometimes the simplest word change will fix an entire paragraph. You know, it'll go from not working to shuffle things around a little bit and change a word. And all of a sudden it just flows and it works and it pops and it clicks and you're just like, what the fuck? Okay. All right. Well, that was the wrong word. They're supposedly synonyms. Thank you, thesaurus, but okay. Well, English. English gonna English. But, yeah, as far as talking around things, right. That's a very interesting idea, and yeah, you're right. So use that till next time, but you gotta go, right. Which one's the very interesting idea? The no synonyms or the resources thing? I'm just gonna let you respond to that. And stop babbling for a minute so I know what the fuck you're talking about. Cool. We got like 60% battery. I'm going back outside. Oh, no, that's just terrible. No, it isn't because it's too dry, because I put cream on this morning. Everything. Synonyms. I've never heard anyone say that before. Yeah. No, I don't, though. There just aren't any true synonyms in English. I gather they exist in other languages. I just don't think we really have any. You can ask a poet, right? But yeah, I should go. I don't got it, but I should, because it's been going on 3 hours and my throat hurts and I got other stuff to do. Kind of always felt the same. Yeah, well, like I said, I think it's true.
Okay, we'll put the count in the
It makes English especially interesting. I mean, I don't know, maybe other languages are similar because I am not fluent in any other languages. I'm not even close. Je parle un peu français und ich habe Deutsch 15 Jahre in der Schule gelernt. However, I would not suggest that I actually speak either of those languages anywhere near as much as I, speak 3 or 4 dialects of English. So, well, I know other languages are similar, but I know English makes writing it real fun. But it means that you can hone your meaning sometimes very, very tightly and say fairly precisely what you meant to say. Right, you have a vocabulary of, vocabulary the size of an industrial warehouse. Tschüss. And we like German, right? Because German follows its own rules most of the time, doesn't it? Aloha. Yes. I don't speak Hawaiian. But aloha is a great word, like shalom, right? Hello and goodbye. I am from the east side of Cleveland, however, and I do have a smattering of Hebrew and Yiddish. Which I feel coming out of my, dimpled white girl face is kind of hilarious. Especially around here where like everyone else is a dimpled freckle-faced white person, and you know, I'll refer to something as a schlep and get sort of blank looks, and it amuses me. I guess inner wrinkles over here. I don't know. But you know, Cindy Crawford, eat your heart out. I have a constellation of beauty marks. On the other side, you know, so it evens out. You know, stupid shit you think when you're looking at yourself in the mirror for way too long as a teenager, right? You're the same, you got one dimple? Yeah, I understand symmetrical dimples. Dimples are actually fairly uncommon. But having the one is the dominant trait. Had two, now you have one, but still have lines. Did you lose weight? I hear that can do that. I never lose weight from my face, ever. So I wouldn't know about that. I think, you know, like I could be starving to death and I was still, yeah. And I hear this is off trend right now too, so. Right, because it's the way your subdermal fat interacts with your muscles. So having less subdermal fat, it's going to change the way your dimples are. Does it to your knees too. No judgment. I've had 2 babies. So it's been the last 20 years or so of my life have been a roller coaster as far as the scale is concerned. I've gained and lost around 200 pounds, which is more than I weigh now. So yeah. Or whatever that's worth. Lose it from your face, but never from your chin. Never your chin. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Are we related? I hear a lot of Aussies have roots in the UK too, so maybe we are. Who knows? Now, hello, teal woman. What's up? How you doing? We were just talking about dimples and how weight loss and weight gain changes the way your body is and stuff. There's a fertile vein of conversation, eh? You know what's nice with getting a little older is the way you kind of start to see how the trends cycle pointlessly. True, I lost some weight too, actually. Congratulations. I assume you are happy about that. Just because most of us could stand to lose a little bit here and there because of the way our diet and our lifestyles are here in the Western world, you know? But like, I hear the baby cheeks are out of fashion at the moment, I've heard. So, more's the pity for that. I could probably, I was about to say, I could probably be starving to death and I would still have the baby face. So, maybe I would never starve to death. Now, there's a weird superpower. Oh, and so I guess next week we're going to be starting RadFem analysis of like classic rock. Which, if that isn't another rich vein of conversation, I don't know. A lot of those guys are dead, so I don't have to feel too bad about talking about them. It's convenient. I used to be upset about that because I was never get to meet them. Youth. I was in my mid-20s before I figured out I wasn't going to get anywhere with that shit because I don't have a penis. Sad, sad world. And you know what? Am I a little bitter about it? Yeah, probably. That's part of the reason it's going to be so fun to, turn some rad fem analysis on those motherfuckers. Because can you suggest topics? Fuck yes, please do. I have my notebook right here and a bunch of pencils over here in my pencil holder. You'll be 37 soon. Well, happy birthday. I'm going to be 39 in October. I said that a couple times already. Oh my goodness. Did I leave my pencil box in the house? Now that I said that, I might not have any. Come on with this. No. No. Come on with this. I have a pencil around here somewhere. Come on. What? No. No, no, no. I refuse to believe this. On it. We're going to have to go back in the house and get a pencil. That's ridiculous. Nope, nope, nope. Ah. Aha. I found one. Never mind. So, did I miss anything? Love topic suggestions. No, but yes. Please. Heck away with the topic suggestions. Those are always great. Yeah, and I was just going to kind of see what floated through the ether for me this week to figure out what exactly I'm going to be making. Late 30s isn't so bad. Unfortunately, we have a youth-obsessed culture. Right. Oh gosh, I am flustered. What counts as rock now then for you? Think guitars and drums. Classic rock is generally popular music between 1955 and 1985 that isn't like bubblegum pop stuff. You know, you're talking your Beatles, your Who, all the way back to your Buddy Holly and your Jerry Lee Lewis and that kind of stuff. All the way up to like your new wave stuff in the 80s. I'm not going to be talking about any hair metal and shit because I hate that crap. I hate those guys and there's nothing endearing about them, so I don't know as much about them because I don't like them. And their music fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if anybody over here is a fan of 80s metal, but I'm just not going to pay to have some dude scream at me. I'm not. About his conquests. Like, fuck that shit. No. Even as a kid, I was not on board for that. And the one exception is I will rock out to some Sammy Hagar. That's the one exception to that. He's got a great rock and roll voice. And, replaced, was it Axl Rose, who has, like, the voice of Satan in a bad way? Like, ugh. So, yeah, I'm a Van Hagar fan. If anybody has any feelings on that whole debate there, I fall firmly on the Van Hagar side of that debate. No apologies. Sometimes rock was very mistaken. Sometimes. No. It's maybe before 50s. See, rock and roll as a beast didn't really exist before the mid-50s. Before that, you had rockabilly, you had country, you had jazz, you had Western, which is a fun genre that doesn't exist anymore, really. Every once in a while, I'll come across somebody kind of recreating it, and that's fun. But yeah, country and Western. Like, that's... Anybody's ever seen Blues Brothers, famous line from that movie? We got both types of music here, country and Western. But, like, that used to be a real thing. Country and Western were two different subgenres of, like bluegrass and, mainstream country. I actually like yelling rock sometimes. Right, yeah, no, I mean, Sammy Hagar, you have to do it well, okay? Axl Rose just sounds like he's up there, like, wailing on his junk with a wrench, like, with a microphone. Like, no, I can't deal with that shit. And then there's Sammy Hagar, and, like, oh, who's the other one? I can see his face, the guy from The Who. Roger Daltrey. He has an amazing rock voice, and he can shout and sing at the same time. Literally about to make the Blues Brothers joke, and then you did. Well, it's my channel, so there. Don't get me started on my southern accent. I've lived down here for quite some time now. Some people from around here really do sound like that too. But not everybody. And a lot of younger people don't. A lot of young people really don't almost have an accent at all. Like country music, especially when you were a teenager. Okay, and if you're a little bit younger than me, that would have been the right around the turn of the century. Ooh, right around Chris Gaines' time. I bet you remember that. That was a trip, huh? Boy, I bet there's a lot of stuff to talk about there. I don't know too much about Garth Brooks, but I'm sure there are some stories. Because there's a phony. Like one of the biggest phonies I've ever laid my eyes on. You know who else is a phony? Ooh, here's a fun one. Bob Dylan is one of the biggest phonies I've ever seen in my life. Yes, the Bob Dylan. I rocked the house singing Minnie the Moocher when I was 24-ish. Hey, that's jazz, right? And again, Minnie the Moocher is fucking. You can. I didn't think that one's jazz. They put it in Blues Brothers, but I think that one might be jazz. But that's alright. Again, there's some overlap there. And I'm just a nerd and like went to music school a couple of different ways. So, you know. It just amuses me to kind of pinpoint genres and stuff. You know, that's all. Minnie the Moocher is great. So. And that's what. Some of these songs are great. You know, and we love them. And then you listen, you realize the lyrics, and you're like, oh, jeez. I cannot believe that just came out of my mouth. Again. Because I love this song, and I've listened to it 1,000 times. You know, like... But so, yeah, rock and roll didn't really exist before, like, the mid-50s. You had Buddy Holly, who had kind of been a Western artist, actually. Who, you know, tweaked his sound a bit and kind of pioneered some of that. And then you had, from the East Coast, why can't I think of his name? He was also a minister. The Screamer guy. Minnie the Moocher is pretty easy to sing, to be honest. If we're talking about jazz, it's one of the easier ones. Yeah. No, and jazz gets wicked complicated. And, like, I was born and raised in Miami and really loved country, and always they dreamed about living in the country. Now I live in South Carolina. Oh, right on. I hear South Carolina's really pretty. We're in East Tennessee, actually, so I guess it's not that far. It's really pretty here. Minus the ocean, of course. But yeah, so classic rock would be like pretty much not bubblegum pop from between 1955 to like 1985. They've decided that they're gonna start counting like the 90s shit now, and I don't. Yeah. I just don't have the level of knowledge about that stuff, because again, when I was studying half of these things, I read books about like biographies and like just the annals of this and that genre, and you know, all kinds of different subcategories, and just, like, the amount of publications, the amount of, I hesitate to say literature, this is the amount of ink that has been spent on rock and roll from the mid to late 20th century it's a lot. There's a mountain of stuff out there you can just check out from the fucking library. I know, because I did it, because I'm a nerd. And I read a lot of them, and I kept a couple of them. And, yeah, there's also going to be probably socio-political stuff that gets thrown in there, because a lot of these people were only able to do and accomplish some of the things that they did because of who they were and where they were born. Boomers. Mainly. You know, I think that explains a lot about the hair metal in the 80s, honestly. But so, yeah, Bob Dylan is one of the biggest phonies who ever lived. And if you don't believe me, go and seek you out some footage of a guy named Woody Guthrie. He was Arlo Guthrie's dad. Arlo Guthrie wrote that song, Alice's Restaurant. If you, Woody Guthrie wrote This Land Is Your Land, which is a lovely egalitarian folk song. It's kind of about knowing the sound. Linguist here who sucks at spelling and can't figure out what to write. It's like soaking it in however you can, whatever it is, and then getting on it. South Carolina is pretty. Good. Knowing the sound. Oh, yeah. No, a lot of it is sort of intuitive. You have to absorb. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I tried to put my money where my mouth was. I played guitar for years and wrote songs and played piano and learned to work all this technical gear and whatever. So, yeah. It'd be really nice to put some of this information to good use. And, like, I literally had a guy at school. He was a teacher's aide. But I was, have I ever heard of In This Moment? Are they a band? I think maybe I have. No, but so I went to this technical school, right, for my audio degree. And there were 100 of us to begin with in the class, and 3 of us were women. And I was one of the oldest. I was 22, I think, when we started. So I was one of the oldest. And pretty much everybody else was fresh out of high school. But, you know, I'm me, so I didn't stick out as the oldest person in the room. But so this teacher's aide was maybe a year older than me. The singer's name is Maria Blink. That's a great name. You know, I had stayed behind after audiotronics class because I liked that class. I liked the teacher. Never forget that musicians are often slaves. Oh, I know. I know. The artists are caged animals. I know. Yet another reason I didn't make it. I'm not mean enough. But yeah, so I'd stay behind after class and I was helping pick up after the lecture, and this teacher's aide literally came up to me and took this podium, and when I say podium, I mean it was a couple of pieces of particle board glued together, out of my hands, and told me that I could not carry things because I was a girl. Literally in so many words. I did not have a good comeback for him at the moment because I was just left speechless at that. I'd never been told that in so many words in my life. To my face, like that. I was the first. Maria Brink, also a good name. But Googling the right name would probably help with actually finding her. In This Moment. Bishop. Are they classic rock? Are they still out? Are they still putting stuff out? Or both? It's amazing how many people qualify as both. You never have the comeback when it first happens. Right. Let me tell you the second half of the story, though. You guys are familiar with a 24-track tape machine? Probably not. It's the size of a riding mower. They're huge. Okay? And like a small riding mower, but still. And it's got this... The way that it puts the sound on the tape is, you know, electromagnetism. Yeah, like tell the second half of the story. So the way that it's called the bias, this really, really high pitch, so high that, you know, you can't hear it at all. Really, really strong blast of electromagnetism that they use to smack the audio into the magnetic tape. Okay, and that's how you record through this machine, is writing this bias wave. Okay, that is essentially invisible. You can't hear it, but you hear what it does. And there's a little knob at the bottom where you can turn it up and down. Okay, you can adjust it. And when you turn it down, everything gets all muddy. Everyone's heard this effect, and you probably don't know what it is. No, as in you know the tape recording. Oh, okay, cool. I did not know this before I took school, and most people I don't think know this. But especially these days. But anyway, so when you turn it up, it gets really tinny. You know, okay. And, you know, he demonstrates this. And again, I'm one of the oldest people in the room, which I think it's just, you know, millennials, you know, we got one foot in analog and one foot in digital, especially the older millennials. And so my first love as a child was a tape recorder. I know exactly what I'm listening for. I recognized it instantly. I knew exactly what he was describing. I didn't know what it was called or how it had worked before that, but I knew exactly what he was talking about and the sound that he was talking about. And so he, we're in this little study group, this lab group. There's maybe 5 of us in the room, like 4 of us from the class and then him. So it's 3 dudes, the teacher's aide, and me. And so, of course, he handed the tweaker to me and asked if I would like to give it a try. And I said, sure, dude. Mind you, I'm over here with my super sensitive ears, which most of the time are like a disadvantage. But here in this particular situation, I sat down, crouched down in front of this machine, and did it perfect the first time without looking. I handed it back, stood up and handed it back to him. I was like, there you go. And he looked at the gauge, and it's right there in the middle. It's perfect. And he never spoke to me again. Reminds me of the other little story from that, where I was in another study group with a fella who was a parrot head. I don't know if you know that. That's what every curse is a gift. Every gift is a curse. And really, it depends on the situation and how you can figure out how to use it. You got to make it work. That's so true. And my other, it's like I have the sensitive ears, and like I record. My head is kind of a giant jukebox, which is the other reason I wanted to go into music. It was put the fucking some good use, right? I remember the lyrics to almost every song I've ever heard. But so this parrot head decided that he was gonna, I do not remember how this came up, the lyrics to Margaritaville. Parrot heads are Buffett fans. Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville is his signature song. The idea that this kid did not know the lyrics, the actual real lyrics to Margaritaville, kind of boggles my mind to this day. But he didn't. Yeah. And I double checked it in my head because I kind of jokingly corrected him. Right, I remember the lyrics. Like, yeah, put it to a melody and I'll remember that shit forever. Oh no. Oh, he's fine. Okay. Like I remember educational songs from 4th grade. What is it, baby?
My warrior love, you missed it.
What is it, baby?
I was what the what?
Oh, I did. I missed it. Oh, man. Next time? Why didn't you wait for me? I don't know. Next time. Love you. Yeah. I really do need to get off here in a minute anyway. It's gone over.
You said 45 minutes, 2 hours.
I know. We're having a good time. Yeah.
Hey, enjoy your friends. Your friends are cool.
You hear that? You're cool. Go sit down and have a glass of water.
Don't tell me what to do.
It was a suggestion.
Oh, I'm going to sit down and have a glass of wine.
Sounds like a good plan.
All right. Did any of your friends tell you how beautiful you are?
Actually, someone told me my eyes were pretty today.
Aren't her eyes super pretty on the screen? They're just gorgeous. Anyways. Love you, baby.
Love you. Go rest up.
Yep.
Maybe split a bunch of wood. We could have a fire later.
Oh, help. Cole put all the wood over there for me.
Oh, Cole helps. That's
Yeah,
good.
we made it a family affair.
That's good. Yep, the teenagers. You broke a nail?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now you're
dear.
stuck doing them.
Oh, dear. I'm missing shots. Oh, no. But that'll be all say. I'm sorry. We're all very cool. The band is kind of new. Yes, her eyes are super pretty on the screen. Thank you. Right, lyrics after hearing the song twice. Right, yeah, I have to have it twice now because I'm getting old. Yeah, maybe 3 times if it's complicated. But like, man, after a while, every pop song kind of starts to sound like every other pop song. And like I say, I wrote them for years. So I don't know, I just kind of start to get a feel for these things. Half the time these days, I can predict the lyrics before they happen. And it's not a magical power or anything. I just, pop music is formulaic, is what that is. And at this point, like, I don't even really listen to popular music anymore, and it's not because I'm a snob, it's because it's boring as shit. Boring as shit. Lately, I've kind of fallen in love with something called the cinematic orchestra. because their stuff is pretty and interesting. Like, and pop music is not any of that. So, God damn it, I got interrupted again. Aside from how cool we all are and how pretty I am, what were we talking about? Every 5 minutes might be an exaggeration. I think it's an average of every 5 minutes. How do I tell you Sam Smith's Body Shop is now in my head because I heard it play it like 3 times. Right. No, there's stuff like that. There's stuff like that that I don't even like. Yeah, to the point where I've gone, for a long time, I have been pretty picky and sometimes bitchy about avoiding songs that I don't like because they will live on forever in my head. What is it, baby? What, baby?
Could I have the microphone back? I'm not helping you to with the
Yeah, it needs plugged in though. It needs plugged in though. Okay, has your tablet been charging?
Yeah.
Okay, well go plug in the speaker.
What?
Go plug in the speaker. You can use it while it's charging, but it needs to charge. On the desk in the bedroom, I think. Yours. Memorizing lyrics and things. Pretty sure, all blurred lines just because it was being played in the supermarket. Oh my god. Man, I never thought I would miss Muzak, but fuck yeah, at least that shit doesn't have the words. Like, when did they just start playing old pop hits in the supermarket? When did they do that? I'm against that shit. Also because it's just kind of weird. Like, I've heard Donna Summer in the supermarket. Like, shit that when it was released was super risque and kind of controversial. And now I'm, like, listening to it while I'm shopping for oranges. And it feels weird to the, like, bizarre, almost. Like, you broke after blurred lines. You know what the worst part about blurred lines is? Is that's a fucking sample. I randomly stumbled upon, I forget what it was. It's something from the 70s. Like, I randomly stumbled upon the thing that they fucking sampled or stole. It might not be a sample, but recreated, it might be. For that song, it's something else. And I was like, holy shit, this sounds just like that. And it's 40 years older. That's not a coincidence. I wish I could remember what. Yes, they stole that groove from something else. And if I go off of here, it, like, isn't recording me anymore, I think. But, like, I would Google that because, yeah. Also, I don't know, this is going to be a hot take, but I didn't have as much problem with that song as a lot of people did. He's trying to get a girl to cheat on her boyfriend while she's tipsy. It's not a great topic. But on the other hand, like, have people heard rock and roll and pop music? Like, have you guys heard this? Like, have you guys heard? He's trying to convince her. That's something. Yeah. It's a stupid argument. Did I see the film clip? Like the video, the music video? Yeah, like a long time ago. I'm not going to say it's not offensive. I'm just saying in the realm of popular music, it's maybe a 4 out of 10, okay? Like, y'all remember Pumped Up Kicks? That song's about a school shooting. Everybody was fine with that until they put that together. I don't know where it is. Go and look for it. I don't know. It's in your room somewhere. I left it in there. I don't know where it is. I'm trying to wrap this up, and it's never going to happen if y'all don't leave me alone. The uncensored one. No, maybe not. I don't know. Again, like, is it offensive and controversial? Sure. Is he an asshole? Probably. Which makes him, like so many others, and just kind of Johnny come lately. And like, I don't know. Is it wrong that I kind of don't care? Like, those lyrics, I've heard the lyrics to the song, and like, I don't know. Right, hell, Pumped Up Kicks is hella disturbing, and that shit was all over the radio for 2 solid years. Alright, so. Not to mention, like, let's not even go back to some older stuff. Trying to think of a specific example off the top of my head. An old, like a classic song that when you listen to the lyrics is disturbing as shit. There's a lot of stuff from the 80s. I remember realizing those lyrics when we were walking down an alley and, like, wow. I think I had to have someone point that one out to me, honestly, because that one just, it's a jam. I don't know. And, like, there's another song that, like, references being about a 6-shooter or like a gunslinger or something that's about a cowboy. So I think I had kind of thought of it more like that. Now I'm thinking about Paula Cole. Oh my god. Where have all the cowboys gone? Which is basically a radical feminist like song. In song form. If anybody knows that one. There's an oldie but a goodie that you never hear anymore, huh? Not even in the grocery store. Might cause a riot. They played that shit in the grocery store. What up, Mary? How you doing, girlfriend? Oh, you would show up just as I'm trying to figure out how to end this. Or remember what the fuck I was talking about? Either of you two has been here for a little bit before I got interrupted 3 times in 5 minutes. Does anybody remember what the fuck we were talking about? What's going on? That's what I'm trying to figure out. My husband just came out here and asked me a silly question. And then my son came out here and asked me the same silly question twice. Like a different one than my husband's, but the same one twice. And interrupted me 3 times in like 5 minutes. So I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. So if anybody does, or, you know, has a topic that they would like to discuss, it's free range. And I gotta fix the stupid umbrella. We're not even playing this game today. Not even playing that game. Nope, 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 nope. Talking about movies. Ooh, yeah. That's good. And like, Missy and young Sheldon joining the boys' baseball team because she liked the boy. Oh, magic. Yeah, we were talking about magic earlier. You know what? I think you might have to leave the discussion, Mary, about Missy and young Sheldon. Because I've not gotten around to watching that yet. But it sounds like she likes the boys, so she joins the boys' base. And it's like the 80s, right? So that would be like a weird thing. Like a super weird thing, actually. Like, how did she manage to swing that, if you'll forgive the pun? And as far as magic, is there anything that you would like to go back and, is there any particular points that you'd like to touch on? Yes, and it makes all the boys uncomfortable. Right, of course. So she's, like, putting them all out. What, so she can be near her crush? Which I guess is a fairly ordinary sort of teenage thing to do. Her meanwhile threatens the coach and she gets on the team. Oh. Yeah. Excuse me. You know, just the kind of, I mean, I want to say nepotism. I think it'd, you know, be awkward in any kind of situation. And so, of course, it doesn't work out well for her. I mean, would you say that this is an example of a female character sticking her neck up for some reason and then getting punished for it? That's the topic you had in your back pocket. Right on. Yeah, we were talking earlier about the book and, like, the magic system in the book. And the obvious comparison is to Harry Potter, where you can, like, just pick up a wand at, like, a store and, like, some books and read some books, learn some spells, and all of a sudden you're commanding magical powers. Like, yeah, our magic system doesn't work that way. It's more like you're born with certain sensitivities and talents that have to be identified and honed over years and years of practice, So, like, the older witches are more capable and powerful than the younger ones. That's how that ends up working. And, unfortunately, they still, most of them anyway, still age. So, you end up less ambulatory anyway. So, like, you have to work together between the generations. It's real strange. And actually, that's part of what's happening right now in the third book that I'm writing. Is like we're getting to watch sort of the breakdown of some of these social networks, these social systems, which is fun because we were talking earlier about how for modern women these things are missing. A lot of these social systems and structures that we would, could use in our day-to-day lives to support us and help us support one another are simply gone. Women to women networks are just sort of gone. I really want to know more about internal growth and those places that one finds and how to use them. You mean like your talents? How do you identify your talents? That's a good question. If that's what you mean, I'm going to wait for you to let you clarify before I go rambling on about that, though. I don't know if you can hear my neighbor's stereo, but apparently he's in a hip-hop kind of mood today. He's a thoughtful kind of blaster, though. He only blasts it when he's driving. So he's either coming in or going out. He never just sits in his yard and, like, blasts his fucking stereo. I think I mean more like internal sanctuaries, but also places for internal learning. Like within the story world, or like within real life psychology, or I'm not understanding how you got there, I think. I made myself laugh though, because in book 2, there's like a little bit of kind of a school for witches. It's literally a little school for witches. There's like 3 of them, and like she only ever takes 3 at a time. But I mean, the comparison to Harry Potter is just like natural and unavoidable. But again, the witching thing is something that you get initiated into with adulthood. So, these are all grown people. As in listening to what you may already know, but not know that you know. Intuition. Right? I don't know, for what it's worth for me. Like I was saying earlier, those energies that you try to tell yourself you don't feel and that are all in your imagination are actually, they're not in your imagination. And all those little inklings that you get that you discount without probably even thinking about it, maybe without even realizing that you had thought it, or you laugh at yourself or whatever it is, like that stuff, you gotta stop doing that. Because, yeah, those little bits of, energy, like somebody was saying earlier about spaces, external spaces where they like to go to find inspiration, and those are, listed some really energetically charged spaces, like libraries and museums and stuff like that. And of course, those are going to be energetically charged spaces. Museums are full of random collections of important objects, right? Like, so yeah, you're going to have all kind of weird energies floating around over there. And then libraries, of course, are packed with ideas, which are a different manifestation of some pretty intense energy. So, yeah. Not to mention the people coming and going in both of those places. So yeah. That makes perfect sense that people would find inspiration in places like that. But I am going to have to go in a little bit because my battery is dying again. Libraries are loud. You know, the little one we have here in town isn't. But this place is perpetually stuck in like 1997. So I would not take it as representative of the world at large. In the current day. Anyway, I wear earbuds out everywhere nowadays. Everywhere. Like, I've discovered that being able to control the shit that floats in and out of my ears is priceless. When it comes to processing, like energy spent on just processing random fucking flotsam in the environment, I don't have to spend energy on ignoring the random conversations of random people around me. Oh, libraries are loud energetically. Duh. No, yeah, right, exactly. And it makes perfect sense to me that, you know, something might spark off someone there. It's happened to me before. And I think I know I did for the longest time up until very recently. I wrote all that stuff off as being in my imagination. Which I definitely have an overactive imagination, so that's confusing too. You know, it's not that I don't imagine things. I definitely do. And sometimes separating that from your intuition can be difficult. And I think that how well it jives with your emotional sense of things can be a clue. Like if you are pessimistic about something and your intuition is that you're right, that intuition is probably being corrupted by your fears, you know? And you're probably not going to be able to get a good feel for whatever that is because you're too nervous about it. Me personally, I'm just kind of terrified a lot of the time that something awful is about to happen. So that's been difficult. Jive is the perfect word. Right. Resonate. You know? Sorry. We were talking about classic rock and all that late 20th century shit, and like, man, if I didn't pick up some fucking boomer slang listening to all that shit, man, my God. But they will tell you that, like, the world peaked in 1967. You know, people my dad's age will tell you that the world peaked in 1967. 1968 was when Robert Kennedy and Martin Luther King were both assassinated. So that was the end of the sweet, you know, of the sweet life. And it was all downhill after that. You know, never mind any of the violence or the racism or any of the shit that happened before that. Because up until 1968, you know, it was a sweet life. Never mind that the Vietnam War had been going on since like 1953. Never mind that. And I don't mean Korea. I thought maybe I was confused when I was first reading about that, but no, like they were simultaneous at one point, I want to say. Vietnam and Korea were happening at the same fucking time at one point. Which, that kind of blew my mind. Like, U.S. foreign policy is a 20-headed hydra of doom. In a suit. In a nice, well-tailored suit. You know, and it'll offer you a beer. I just, I digress because that's another topic for another day. And y'all not being super responsive in the chat. And I gotta go anyway because we're down to 10% battery life, y'all. My battery gonna die. So, say your piss now or hold your peace until next week. Yeah. And I'm going to be putting out something on Friday. I should go. Fine, let's see how it is. No. I'm going to be putting something out on Friday. Some kind of rad fem analysis of some kind of classic rock thing. And I'm probably not even going to bother to script it. I'm probably just going to riff. Because because again, these are rants that just sort of dwell within me, and I just have to let them out. All right, it's gonna be fun. I hope for everyone else as well. Thanks for hanging with me, Mary. I'm sorry you were so late, girl. Maybe go listen to the book chapters. I'd love to get some feedback from some of y'all. Or go and read it if that's the kind of thing you're into. The PDF is still on the community page. Nice big fat 14-point time. Because that's what I'm gonna be doing the rest of the week. Aside from that, music rant that I'm planning to do is part 2 of book 3, wherein things finally start coming together, and I've set up all this stuff and built this little puzzle, and now I get to start tying all these ends together, and it's actually pretty fun. So I look forward to not talking about it, because spoilers. For once I give a shit. Yeah, I hope you get some sleep, girl. It's the middle of the dang night there. Mary, don't forget me next week. Ooh, and who else did we have? Philological Bell left a while ago. Who else is here? Who am I forgetting? Oh, speak up, honey. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Teal Woman. Right. Thanks for stopping by, Teal Woman. I guess you're still here. I don't know if you're in the chat anymore, but it's nice seeing you. And, put in a couple of good comments. So thanks for stopping by. The chats are always a little, they're fun, but they're a little spastic because I'm constantly interrupted in my life. So thanks so much, y'all, for sticking with me and hanging and everything. Right. Thank you. How you have such a good memory at 3:30 in the morning, I can't fathom. Must be a little younger than me. Yeah. So look forward to the musical analysis, and now I gotta do the hard part and actually hit the button and go. So, I guess I'll be seeing y'all next week. Everybody have a good one, okay? Have a good weekend. See you later. Bye.